me.
Yeah, Jordan?
I do. That's why I said
Hold on.
it.
Say it again, Dre. I didn't hear what you said, Dre. What?
I made a video a long time ago, like when we first started Descaled, and it was like the Chinese sensei was kicking Buddy in the nuts. Boom, boom. And he's just sitting there. And I was like, yep, that's Trot doing that. Almost to harness your emotions.
It's like, oh, stand there and trust the Lord.
He's like smacking him with sticks and stuff. And he's like, yep.
Stand there and trust the Lord. Harness your emotions. Yes. Yes, you must defeat your flesh. Well, how do I do that? I show you. Harness your emotions.
It's like the whole wax on, wax off thing. Christian's like, why does he keep telling me to harness my emotions? He keeps hitting me. And then Christian won't find out until like 20 years down the road. He's going to be like, oh, that's why. So it wasn't useless.
Yeah. Oh, no, it ain't useless.
No, it's not.
Hashtag free Christian.
What was that? No, it wasn't the Dumb and Dumber movie. It was the one with the two guys that were brothers, and they were just like so stupid. And one was going to get married, and the other one was standing up and trying to stop his wedding that day. Well, in that movie, they
Talladega Nights or something like that.
Who's in the movie? Jesse, who's in the movie?
Man, I'm horrible with names. Okay. That would be like asking,
Step Brothers.
Charlie Brown to, to understand what he said.
That's the teacher.
Step Brothers. Step Brothers.
And then one of their scenes, they did that. They were smacking each other. He would tell them, smack me. Go get your coffee. That happened to me this week, actually. And I was ready to go out and just blow. And something just said, no, you don't. You don't get to do that. You're not allowed to do that. And I just kind of I felt like composure came over me. And I just put my shoulders back and just looked at the person and just said to myself, no, not worth it. It's not them. They're just manifesting. And I turned around and walked away.
Oh, okay. You made sure to talk bad about them for you. You gossip before you. It's like,
no. In my mind,
stupid.
I said, no, I didn't say that. I said, it's not them. They're manifesting. Well, this person's not even Christian. So why would I sit there? Because I know that. Because they told me that they're into tarot cards and they're into New Age and that's their God. So I already knew this. So I said to myself, is it worth it? They already told you what they believe. So just let it be.
Boom, ba da. Boom, ba da. What's up, Marshmallow? Do what?
I just want to reiterate this for everyone in the room.
Make it clear.
Just so we're all clear.
Make it clear, buddy.
So we're all clear on the rules. There's one rule, and that is only one Puerto Rican on the panel at a time.
Oh,
Thank you.
That's the rule.
Oh.
Where's Bill at? Bill trying to get up?
I have the DEI label today.
Yeah, you don't know.
Since you're here, Bill can't come up.
Where is
the actual rule is leaving the two boxes down below us open, which we are doing.
Yeah, look at that. That's so
We're
good.
We're doing an excellent job.
So good. That's so awesome. Let me see.
Christian must be mad because he's not even here.
He probably arguing with somebody. TikTok. I'll tell you, Chris, I'll be swapping sometimes. He'll be in a live, bro. I don't know nobody in that live. And he'll just be in there. I'm like, oh, let me get out of here. Bro, I ain't never seen nobody, never in my life have I ever seen any of those people. I mean, y'all might know some of them, but Dre, it says you got a new comment on your podcast. That's what it said. What popped up. So the podcast already started. If you didn't know, it's on Apple Podcast and what other one? Podbean. Bean. I think. I don't know. Now I'm starting to think it's backwards. Bean Pod. I think it's Podbean. I don't know. One of them. Let me see what I got, y'all. All right, yeah. So today is going to be a Grip Mastery family, and we are talking about
Well, I'm going to drop down so Bill can have the DEI seat because I'm way beyond that DEI nonsense. Because I'm at work. I just wanted to come up and say hi.
You're at work? What?
I work. I do work.
So that means
Love you guys.
All right, awesome. Podbean, yes, Podbean podcast. Thank you.
Drop me so it doesn't mess up your algorithm, bro.
What? Why would I have to drop you?
Because it doesn't mess up your algorithm. When I drop,
where do y'all learn this stuff at? All right, I'll drop you.
TikTok.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. I don't even know if that's true. Is that true? You have to drop people?
I've never heard that in my life.
Yes. And you lose coins if you drop yourself.
If you drop yourself, you lose coins?
Yeah.
Huh. I wonder
A portion.
Is that because
percentage.
Yeah, but is that but golly, what if people got to go? Huh. I don't know.
You're right.
I don't know.
Hey, what's Keith talking about?
Who?
Keith down there. What's he talking about?
Keith. What'd he say? I'm looking for his original. Some pretty crazy stuff just came out on Trump. Yeah. What is that, Keith? Y'all say that every week. He's still president. The heck? He's a felon, for God's sakes. What else could happen? What? Yeah, Keith, can you put what it is? Why you just keep putting go to McDonald's parking lot and sit there. Tomorrow go to Walmart and you'll find out. Next week go to the mall. I mean, can we be done with can you just what came out? Do you know or not? Or you heard something came out and you're like, "Oh, I must tell them something came out about Trump." Well, you going to get there? Keith, you going to say what it is or what? Him alone with victims for hours. Are you talking about Epstein? Are you talking about?
Old.
I don't know.
It's old news. If it's true, it's old news.
Yeah. Keith, where you been, buddy? That's years old, bro. What are you talking about? Years old. You know what's funny? I'll tell you what's really funny, and I'm not talking about funny, ha, that kind of funny, but like weird funny. They had a bunch of victims on TV that had something, the Epstein victims. They had them on TV, and every one of them were asked, "Do y'all know anything about Donald Trump?" They said no. Right there on live television. Keith, did you know that, Keith? I just want to know if you know that. Keith, did you know that? Okay, so, and they didn't just have 2 or 3, bro. There was like 10 of them on there. So, I don't know. You know.
The only thing I heard about any of that was he was on the plane and that's it. He never went back.
Yeah.
It was more like an observation.
Yeah, Mac 10. Mac 10. Let me say this quick. Mac 10. Listen, even if there are 50 billion quadrillion, one of them should have said something by now. I'm not saying it's true or not, but what I'm saying is, you know, you're saying, oh, there's thousands of them, bro. Like, come on, man. It's in the emails just released. Okay, Keith, what does that matter? You taking Donald Trump? I'm not taking nobody's side. I don't know him. What are you talking about? I voted for him to be president. You understand? Voting for someone to be president. What does that have to do with, what's that got to do with anything? I don't understand the way y'all think about this. Taking sides. I don't understand that. I don't
focus so negatively on one person that becomes their forte and what they're for or against instead of policies and becomes a blind spot is what I'm saying.
Yeah, if Trump can't be president, nobody should have ever been president. Nobody. There should have never been one. Y'all treat him like he's running to be Pope. I'm just saying he act like he's acting like he's claiming to be the vicar of Christ here. He's never claimed that. He's a guy.
Trump trolls.
He kind of did. He kind of did.
What?
He put a picture of himself up as the Pope.
Well, that's him.
Yeah,
That's
he
him.
did
Yeah,
in
but
the
that's
AI.
him. That's him mocking the left. Come on.
Yeah. But I mean, hey, he mocked about a third term. He's like, yeah, that's a third term. That's a good idea. And then all of a sudden, all these news stations come out. That's against the law. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Like they're taking him serious, and he's over here joking
Yeah.
the whole time.
Like you had Bill Clinton having, he's married and he's having sexual relations in the White House, but he was president. He wasn't the vicar of Christ here. Guy, come on. Every president, and I don't know why you act like this is new news. You act like every president was like, we could prove they were perfect. And then this knucklehead's in there and it's like, oh, look, he did something bad.
Well,
I don't have to know he did something bad. He's a human. I know he's done something bad.
I just want to know why people weren't mad at the presidents who started the cages and deporting millions of immigrants. How come they didn't say anything until the Orange Man came?
Bro, Obama's nickname was the Porter in Chief.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just saying
It's the DOC.
It's hypocritical. These people are hypocrites. Like Obama's the one that was caging people. He was doing all this. It's proven. And then Trump is just he's following lead like from his, people that were in front of him. And they're like, hey, why are you doing that?
Jay White run.
Huh?
Unreal. We made Jay White run.
No, somebody texts Jay White and goes, hey, we got a so-and-so kind of guy over here. We got a black Hebrewite over here. She's like, oh, okay, let me go over there. I'll be back. She does like Bill does, I think. Bill got like five devices and he's got all of them on mute. And when one of them says his name, boy, he gets after it. Then somebody else
Jesse run too.
Huh? No, Jessie was gone. She was gone before. They were all over 21. Yeah. It don't matter who's president, guys. It don't care. It don't matter if he's Republican or Democrat. Okay? It's a human being. They've done stupid things. Barack Obama, I mean, if you're honest, some dumb things that came out about him, but bro, he's president. What do you want me to say about that?
The reality is the United States is the presidency is a CEO of a corporation, and you want somebody who's business savvy, who's going to be able to run this corporation the best. Ultimately, that's what it boils down to. And the person who he ran with twice now, the first person, I don't think that person would have ran the United States as a great corporation. It would have been terrible, which was Clinton, the female Clinton. And then the other one was Harris. I mean,
oh my God,
there's nothing, there's no evidence. I would have rather seen Ramaswamy run and be the president than her.
I ain't gonna
100%.
lie. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let me Mac, like what? What are you talking about? Like what? You talking about Obama? Mac, don't sit here and act like you don't. Oh, here we go, bro. Oh my God. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Don't sit here and act like you hear all the rumors about Trump and you ain't never heard a rumor about Obama. Don't do that. Don't do that to me, bro. Mac, is that what you're talking about? Are you asking like what? Talking about Obama? Huh? God. Obama like dudes. Did you know that, Mac? Did you know that? Yes? Okay, Mac, did you know Obama like dudes? You just want me to start there? You mean start there or what? I just want to know if you knew that. Prove it? Okay, well then prove Donald Trump's bad then. That's how dumb. Come on, Mac. That don't make no sense. Well, hey, here we go. Listen, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about on Descaled, right? Water baptism. This is why this argument will never stop. Because one side will say you have to be dipped in physical water to be saved. The other one will say, no, you don't. And you know what they tell each other, Mac? Prove it. Bro, you're not going to prove something to someone that's already got their mind made up. You're not going to prove it. It don't matter what you say. Right? That's water. That's just water baptism. What about Trinity?
How about you go a little bit like they say that this man swore in the second time and put his hand on the Quran. How about that? That's a crazy take, but that's out there. Mm-hmm. There's other takes like I remember there was this thing about him and the IRS, like him having targeting allegations. So he was targeting certain political groups to make him to tax them and defraud them so that he could look better. Like there's a lot of allegations for all these people out there, bro. So it's just like, yeah, nobody's going to be scandal free, or, you know, it's just not going to happen. So you just, at the end of the day, you vote for the person you want to win. And if they don't win, you still have to deal with the fact that whoever you voted against is now the president of the United States and they're your commander in chief, whether you like it or not. And because you guys are Christian and you guys believe in the power of prayer, I suggest you pray for Donald Trump. Pray for this man.
Yeah. They're like, no. They're like, no, we will not pray for him. Listen, anytime you hear us talk about Trump, we're not talking about how big of a saint he is. Listen to yourself. We're talking about the guy running the country. Oh man, running.
Yeah, he needs it, Keith. I think all you guys that can't stand this guy, I really believe you should go on a 40-day fast and 40-day prayer, so that you can strong arm God and make this man change his ways, his horrible ways. I think you should do that. I think you should do that for sure. I'm Vietnam vet. He'll never be my commander in chief. Oh, that's nonsense, Mac.
Do what?
Yeah,
what
that's a terrible way of being a soldier, dog.
What do you say? I have fasted 40 days. Mac, I was still in when Obama was in office, and I think Obama was horrible, but he was my commander in chief. You see how we differ there? See, I should be like you then, right? I should say, I hated that he was in charge when I was. How come I don't think like that? I don't think like that. The guy was president, and I'm going to respect him as president, period. I don't care if I don't like stuff about him. I don't care. Okay, so then you need to ask yourself who's being unreasonable, because if I don't think Obama had hardly any good policies at all, and I think his character was not the best, I should be like you then, right? I should say, I hate that he was president. Why? How come I'm not like that? You know?
Yeah.
So I was in during that time too, and he was still my commander in chief. I have no choice but to submit to the orders of the commander in chief. And you know, the funny thing is he tricked me too, because I remember when he first did his first term, I got the video, bro. I will drag him. He sat there at Saddleback Church, Rick Warren. He sat there at Rick Warren's church, did an interview, and Rick Warren asked him, "What do you think marriage consists of?" And he said, "Well, marriage is between one man and one woman, and that's the way God intended it to be, and it should never be changed." And then he turned around the second term, and what did he do? He went exactly against that. He lied. He lied to get his second term, and in his second term, all along, he was going to change that order. That's exactly what he wanted to do.
Hey, Keith. So since we're talking about Donald Trump, right? Since you brought up the president, did you go find out that the tariffs worked? Did you go find that out? You sure want to beat up the man's character, but the only thing we ever talked about was his policies regarding him being president. You're so quick to come up here to be like, ha ha, they found dirt in his fingernails. He's a man. Now, what does that got to do with policy? What does that got to do with anything?
You know,
worked out. You know, hold on. Keith, listen. This how I know you're being dishonest. This how you know you're lying, Keith. I'm gonna call you out on this. I need everybody to pay attention to this. Boy, you so quick to find out like how Trump was an imperfect man. Right? Like you got the best resources. I'm not sure what resources you're using. So you don't know how to go find out that the tariffs worked, but you know how to find dirt. You see where your mind's at, Keith? It's crazy. This is crazy, bro. You think just like a typical leftist. It's all about finding dirt. Like it's not about whether the man's doing a good job. We paid more due to the Keith, bro. So are Americans going to get a $2,000 stimulus check that come from tariff money? Is that true or is that not true, Keith? Huh? Lord have mercy, buddy, old pal.
Yeah.
No.
Did you even hear about You even hear about how Trump's planning on doing a 50-year mortgage plan. So for people who can't like pay the interest rate on a 30-year mortgage, he's trying to work a 50-year mortgage plan.
I spoke to my wife about that yesterday. We had a little skedaddle about it because she thinks that it's bad, and I told her I vehemently disagree. I think it's great, and the reason I say that, well, she was like, well, nobody will ever own their house. I said, well, majority of people never own their house anyways, to be honest with you, because 30 years. If you buy your house at 40, most people die before they're 70 anyway.
Yeah,
so all this does is give people the ability to actually own something, never get kicked out of their home, and it builds equity. At the end of the day, you're building equity. So that means that people who would normally not be able to pay a mortgage for a specific amount of money, they can afford the mortgage, build equity, and start a business with the equity if they're smart. They can send their kids to college with that equity if they're smart. They can get out of debt. You'll always have an asset, because you need assets in order to get loans in banks anyway. So all these things are actually a good thing. It's not a bad thing. So I don't know.
Hold on, Dre. Hold on. What 50-year mortgage? Because I work in the mortgage industry. So please tell me, because there is no 50-year mortgage.
They're talking about it. They're talking about
because
it.
That's not going to happen.
Well, I said they're talking about it.
I'm advising you, if you own your home now, and you have an FHA loan, FHA has rolled back to pre-COVID, number one, effective October 1st. VA is the only mortgage servicer right now that their action plan that they wanted to develop effective October 1st has been put on hold because of what's transpiring. Any conventional loan, that is the only loan that offers deferments, and that they have rolled that back to pre-COVID, whereas it's only 6 months for a deferment versus back during COVID. So they can talk about it all they want to, but it'll be up to the investors if they're going to honor that. And no investor at this time is honoring that, because a 50-year mortgage is ridiculous. No investor ever ever did a 40-year mortgage, only for extreme circumstances.
Well, it sounds like you didn't know about it until I brought it up. So
no, well, because
there could be investors who back it.
It's ludicrous.
Well, I think it's how long has it been talked about now? I want to say it's only been a week or two. I don't think it's been a long time.
Not a long time.
Right.
At all.
So it's not been talked about long enough to even really. I mean, we'll see what happens, you know.
And what investor is thinking about doing a 50-year mortgage?
Well, again, if the discussion's only been talked about for a week or two, again, but
it has to have an investor, though. Troy.
Yeah, I know, but if it's just being talked about, that doesn't mean.
But which investors?
Again. No, I'm not missing your point. I'm not missing your point. I'm not missing. You're missing mine. Listen. We're not talking about which investor is doing it. We're talking about the discussion is starting. That's it. So there's nothing further than that right now. Now, I'm not saying an investor hadn't come out and said they are going to do it in the past few days. What I am saying, the conversation just started. So we right here are not going to end there's not going to be a conclusion to this right here, right now. We will see. Time will tell. Just give it time. Most investors may laugh at it. There may be somebody that says yes. Now, I don't know why they would, but somebody may say yes. And then everybody, what's going to happen? The other investors are going to let them be the guinea pig to see if it works out. It's just like anything else. Nothing new. Nothing new. But again, they're just talking about it. So the outcome of that, you know, like I said, we're not going to come to a conclusion about it right now. Not on Descaled. You know, Keith only comes around when he finds dirt in Trump's fingernails. Like that matters to us. Bro, we don't care about dirt on all these politicians. We can sit here all day and find dirt on all of them. So what's the point? To say one is more dirty than the other? What does it matter? They're trying to run the country. All right. That's what I'm focused on who's going to run the country, not who can I find more dirt on. You know, a lot of these politicians may not even go to heaven. So, I mean, it's crazy. It's a crazy conversation, you know.
That I agree with you.
So-
And the ones you think are going to hell will be in heaven,
Right.
sitting right next
I'm
to
just
you.
saying. So when we talk about who's going to run the country, we're not talking about who's the vicar of Christ. I don't understand how this ends up in people's heads like Keith. Oh, I found dirt. Go to Christ about it. Why are you coming to me? You know, you obviously did, Keith. You obviously didn't do your research regarding the tariffs. I could tell just by the stuff you say. No offense. He too busy flying overseas. Hey, he's a president. He's gonna do what presidents do, man.
Hey, we got our first comment on the podcast.
Yeah, do you know who it is or?
Yeah, I believe this is. Oh man, I know the profile picture is the same one on TikTok. I'm gonna find out exactly, but it says, "Beautiful understanding of God's heart. These brothers will guide you into honey of God, the honey of God's word, opening blind eyes and deaf ears." That is a beautiful comment. This person's name, man, what's her? She's on here. I know she's on here. I just, I want to say.
Tammy said me.
That's Tammy. I was gonna say Tammy, but I wasn't sure. Like, I
what's
didn't
the
want to say
picture?
it.
What's the
Tammy.
picture there? Is it a picture of
That's
a woman?
her picture right there. Same picture.
What?
Same picture.
Her name's
Same
not
picture.
there.
No, on the comment it doesn't show. It doesn't because it was an email that we received. So I'm looking at the email.
Yeah, why
So it
wouldn't
was a
it?
notification.
Yeah, but why wouldn't it have the name? That's weird.
Maybe
If you go
security
to
purposes, I don't know.
If you go to the Apple iTunes podcast library, you should be able to see reviews, and if the person shows their Apple ID, whatever that name is, will show up.
Yeah.
That
Well,
so-and-so
Tammy,
made a
congratulations! You're the first person to comment on the Descaled podcast. It will be amazing and worldwide, and you were the first one to ever comment. Look at that.
All right, that's awesome. All right, we'll a couple more questions about politics because clearly y'all don't understand how we view politics. Clearly you don't. Keith been here forever and he still don't understand. Let's see, Mac. Do you think you'll run? Who's running for president? Who's you all? Who you talking about, Mac?
He's asking you.
He's asking me if I'm going to run for president. What? Do you think you'll run for president? Who's you'll? Mac.
He mean you. He
Come on,
doing
you, bro. It's not hard.
Extra.
Bro,
Trump
he is
an
not. Hold on a
extra.
second. He is not
Trying to be
asking.
an extra.
Hold on a second. Hold on. He is not asking if I'm going to run for president, bro.
Yes,
Yes,
No,
is.
that don't make no sense. Where would you even get the idea that I would?
Put money on it. Put money on it.
That's the extra.
No.
That is the extra.
Hold on. Can
Every
we?
time.
Can I
Every
see?
time.
Hold on. I want to confirm if that's what he meant because he could have said he'll, like maybe talking about Trump, third term. Okay. So let me ask him. What do you? Can you reiterate what you're saying there? Are you even still here? Let me
And
see.
Keith, you better not embarrass me either, because you
No,
know
that's
what
not
you meant.
Keith. That's not Keith. That's Mac 10. Mac 10. Who you talking about
Oh,
running?
Mac 10. Sorry, Keith.
Who you talking? No, Keith is all over the place. He drowning.
Keep catching strays.
Keith drowning. He got a raccoon in his mouth and drowning at the same time.
Dre, you see me trying to pressure him. Don't embarrass me here. Tell him
Yep.
that.
Oh yeah.
Y'all need to stop
Keep the
listening.
heat on him. He's like, no, now he's in the request. I'm gonna come up.
Mac, I'm asking you a question, Mac. Who you talking about running for president, bro? Mac 10. Who you talking about running for president?
Mac, how are you gonna say God bless you to someone else in the comments but not answer the question?
Right.
Let me sit here for 5 minutes. Oh, God bless you.
No, I
brother.
don't know. Mac, I'm asking you, bro. Can you please clarify? Come on, come on, man. Come on, dude. Let's get over this hump.
Why
What are you
being
talking about?
cryptic?
You say you know. No. They think you're talking about someone else. I think everybody don't know. We just said we don't know who you're talking about. Who are you talking about running for president? Just put a name there or be more clear. You're being vague. You know? No, I don't know. Oh, my Lord.
If not for his sake, Mac 10, then for our sake.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, do it for their sake, please.
Please.
Okay, maybe I'm not dark enough.
I'm
Misunderstood.
saying is-
Misunderstood. Can you ask them? Maybe I'm not dark enough. Maybe that's the issue.
Don't even go there with me. Look, brother. Can you just answer the question? Am I right or is Trump right?
No,
Are you
no,
talking
no.
about
Don't
me?
ask who's right. No, no, my God. Just ask.
I'm asking.
Who
you
is he
told
talking
me
about?
You told me to ask.
Yes,
my
but
way.
ask
told me
who
to
he's
ask my
talking
way.
about. No, who is he? I want a name. He just put amen.
Try.
What?
Right.
Oh.
Let me ask. You told
Gonna
me
cause more
to
confusion.
Ask.
Go ahead.
I don't care about these.
All right,
They
go
know-
ahead.
they
Go
know
ahead.
us.
All right, go ahead then. Do your thing. He better answer correctly. We're gonna see.
Matt, brother, just answer. Am I right or Trump?
How does he know what you mean? Hold on. How does he know what you mean by am I right? Hold on a second.
Because he knows Trump.
Oh my God. No. I want to.
Everybody else on the panel knows.
Oh my
Everybody else
God.
on the panel but you.
That is not how
So
you
let me
get clarity. No,
clarification.
you get clarity by asking the direct question.
Yahweh.
Who is he talking about? Who is he talking about? Listen, he ain't talking about me. That's why he put, Trump. He's talking about Trump third term. That's what he's talking about.
He is not talking about
Yeah,
me.
he is.
No.
Yeah, he is. He said, He not asking
He
if
said
I'm
yo.
gonna.
He said yo.
No, I know, but it
Yo,
could have been. I
not
know.
hill.
Listen, I know how to read, but he could have put that in by accident. Yeah. All right, Mac.
Dre.
Mac, I just thought you were more mature than that. Okay, clearly not. Okay, Keith.
Okay, I have to drop
Hold
down.
on. All right, you drop down. Okay. All right, Amy,
You
what's
running.
up?
You running.
Amy.
Hey, I found out the reason I'm so clumsy is I needed oxygen. I did not know I had something like COPD.
Man,
some
I had
chronic something or
that's
another.
funny you said that. I had someone in my family that literally, I don't know, it's been 2-3 months, that they were having some very weird, like equilibrium problems, and they found out just because they were low on oxygen. So,
Right, it wasn't getting to the bottom
Yep.
of my feet at all, so my legs were really clumsy.
Wow.
And then I would start walking, and I'd get exhausted within just a few minutes. And I'm like, what is happening to me? Why can't I just go for a walk?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad actually you found out what the issue
Yes,
is.
somebody's been praying big time over my health and my situation where I have a place to live now. And I have friends who took it's a new program called The Way. It's not the Old Way Bible. It's about following Jesus like he was a teacher, like you want to be like him in the ways that he helped people. And they decided to pray and fast over me, of all things. And I'm seeing huge effects on my healing and my ability to pay attention, and how I don't have to sleep so much because I'm sleeping better because I have
Awesome.
oxygen. It's wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
God is so good.
God-
Jesus
God is
is
amazing.
helping me.
God is
Yes.
amazing. Amy, I
Yes.
recognize your photo. You been here before?
Yes.
Okay. I do recognize your photo and name. All right. So, Amy, because we're going to be done with politics. Okay. Regardless of left, right, does it matter if the president is perfect? It's a yes or no question.
No, it can't, because he's not God. Nobody's
Exactly.
God.
They're not God.
It doesn't
so
matter.
It doesn't matter. Okay. Listen, we may disagree on policy, but the one thing we cannot disagree with, that this person is not the vicar of Christ. This person, he's running a worldly thing, not a godly thing. All right,
Yes,
Keith.
the point I was trying to make in the little comments, it's hard to write what you want to say, but the point I'm making is about good didactics, good talking to each other, good conversation, good and honorable logic when arguing or when making a statement. You have, if people are going to pick on and drag up morals of one party and not pick on equally and drag up the morals of the other party, then they're just hypocritical. It
That's
doesn't
right.
work.
That's right.
It doesn't work.
The truth
It ruins
is
the conversation.
right. The
Yeah.
truth is, like in my personal view, right? Okay. If someone like Keith here, okay, he only comes up when he wants to talk politics. He don't come up here to talk about Jesus no more. But anyway,
You know, it's all about Jesus with me. It's all about him with me. It's all about him with me.
all
Hey,
right.
tap the screen,
All right,
people.
all right. No,
300
seriously, though.
likes is
Seriously.
not good.
So, oh my God, 300 likes. Dang, I think I did that by accident,
come on,
turning my
tap the
phone on.
screen.
I think that's all me by accident. Yeah. So, right. You're not going to see someone who understands that a president is not representing God. I don't know why these people think president is representing God. There's a lot of presidents that they can say whatever they want, but all these presidents ain't going to heaven. That's my personal opinion. There's going to be, I don't care if it's just one. I don't care if one of them don't go to heaven. That's enough right there to prove that all of them in some way, form, or fashion, they have to be like the rest of us and come to Christ. They have to receive him as Lord and Savior. And if they ain't did that, that has nothing to do with me. All I want to know is if you're going to be in that office, what are your policies? That's all I care about. So when we play this game, I found some dirt. I could care less about dirt. I already know they have dirt. I'm not having like this awakening because dirt. Listen, Trump had dirt before he became president. Before.
Yeah, you can talk.
So,
what you do is you just set up how you're talking and you say, today we're going to talk about, not about the particular morals, because we don't find that interesting. We're going to talk about how policies may or may not support what, what Christ was looking for. Was Christ looking for a religious government? No, not at that time. You know, things like that.
Yeah,
that's a worthy discussion.
Yeah. So, all right, Keith, you better make some sense, or I'm going to blame misunderstood. You're going to embarrass her. Keith, what you got?
All I was saying was it's pretty bad what just came out. That's all I was
Bro,
saying.
he's already done pretty bad things before this, Keith.
Yeah, but it's pretty. You know what I mean?
He wasn't saved back then, brother. How are you going to hold his past against him? He wasn't saved back then.
Is that what we're doing? We're going to hold people's past against them, Keith? That's what we do?
No.
That's what you're doing? That's what you're doing?
No, not at all.
That's what you're doing? What do you mean not at all? That's what you're doing?
If he's saved now and he said he ain't had nothing to do with
Whoa. I don't care. Hold on,
Keith.
I don't care if he's saved.
Right. Well, Dre just said that though.
I know. I'm saying he's saying you can't play it both ways, bro. So if he is saved today, because I don't know if he is, or do you know if he's saved today or not, Keith?
It don't look like it.
I'm not. I don't care. I'm asking you. Do you know? Do you know if he's saved or not?
If he believes in Jesus, he is.
Okay. So exactly, you don't know. So I don't either. Right. So if he's saved or not, I don't know. I'm not saying I care or don't care. That's not really what I'm saying. I'm saying I don't know if he is or not. So, but if he is saved, so what year did this stuff happen, Keith?
The emails that just came out were from 2011.
Oh my God. Okay, so the emails came out. So in 2011, he was acting like a fool. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what it's saying.
Okay, so how long ago was that? Is before he was president? So before he was president?
Yeah, before. Right before he was president. Yeah.
Right before. What year did he become president?
2016.
So that was right before, huh? Years before he became president. Okay, so he becomes president. And that's the only thing everybody's focused on. Because I only focused on Bill Clinton having those relations in the White House while he was in the White House. I didn't go back and try to find dirt on Bill Clinton before he was president. I don't care. He's president. But now he's in the White House. You don't need to be in there cheating on your wife. Would you agree, Keith?
He was impeached for it.
I'm asking you a question. Would you agree he doesn't need to be doing that in the White House?
Right, and he was impeached for it.
No, but my point is, it was while he was president.
So
hold on a second. Hold on. What I'm saying, let me finish. Listen, again, everybody has dirt. Yes or no?
For sure.
No. Okay. So it doesn't matter when the dirt happens, bro. To me, it don't matter. I don't care when they did it, how they did it. I don't care. They did it, period. And it's wrong. Okay. And it's wrong. But what makes it more wrong is when you go in the White House and you start doing stuff like that in the White House. That makes it more wrong, bro. Okay? More. Not less, more. So again, I don't choose presidents because I know them personally and I know that they're a good person. None of us know these presidents personally. None. But you know, we do know that they're human And I don't know why people are surprised that they were stupid while they were a human. I just don't understand that. That blowing my mind. That blowing my mind. We already knew Trump was crazy, bro, before he was president. I don't know why everybody acting dumb. I don't know why anybody would be surprised that if that's true, the whole Epstein thing, why would you be surprised? I don't understand that. I'm not, how come I'm not surprised? Right? How come I'm not, oh no, not President Trump. How come I'm not acting like that, Keith? Huh? Keith?
Because you knew what he was like.
Because I already knew the dude's crazy, bro, already. I already knew, bro. Come on. I'm telling the dude, get your butt in the White House and make some things happen for the country if you can, sir. That's what I'm saying to him. But to come up and be like, oh, shoot, this dude had a crazy life. I could have swore everyone already knew that. Everyone. And for anyone to say that they didn't, well, guess what? I don't know what else to tell you, okay? But I ain't surprised by nothing. I ain't surprised by nothing. That's right, Mac. Money can, right? The Bible says that money is the root to all evil, the love of money. It's the root, the love of money, not money. There's a lot of people that got money.
I would say money exposes, not corrupts. I'd say it exposes.
Well, again, the love of money does it, not money.
Is what corrupts, yeah.
Yeah, the love of money. The love. The person has to love money. That's what the Bible says. So it ain't money. Money's not the issue. Like, again, pews is not the issue. Pews don't unalive people. Okay? People unalive people. A pew don't unalive people no more than a fork makes you fat. A fork don't make you fat. Put the fork down. It's got the food on it. Stop eating. You're the problem. Okay? The fork is not the problem. The pew's not the problem. The money is not the problem. Those are all lies. Who is that?
You know what I don't get?
Morning.
You know what I don't get is when it's like the Jackson 5 thing, like back in the day when Trump was a Democrat, by the way, and they all loved him.
Yeah, they all loved him.
You know, the news, we weren't as well informed as we are today. Like, you had your news stations and whatever they showed you is the information you had to go off of. So
Yeah.
Trump made some statements about these Jackson 5 that people say, see, that was racist. And yet what Trump has done is given more money to the HBCUs than any president ever has. And it's like,
yeah, but that stuff don't matter. They don't care about that. Nobody cares about that.
Let's not talk or celebrate that at all.
Yeah.
But I could go back in the same past of Trump during that Jackson 5, and I can find just bluntly racist things out of Biden's mouth. But we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
So why is the energy not the same?
Well, okay. Well, because asking that question, we become irrational. Don't even waste time asking that question. My thing is this. I just want to know if Trump was a Democrat in 2011, because that means it was a Democrat doing those things that you're saying, Keith.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
Are you sure?
All right, hold on a second. Keith, I want to show you something. Hold on a second, Keith. I want to show you something. Hold on. I want to show you something. Are you sure, Keith?
Pretty sure.
Okay, but I think, hold on a second. I think you just put your foot in your mouth, and I think you're so quick to defend Democrat over truth. I really think you're just trying to defend. No, don't say that. Hold on a second. Hold on, Keith, because I don't. Keith, hold on a second. Hold on, because I don't. Keith, hold on, Keith. I don't know. See what I'm saying? I don't know if he was a Republican or Democrat in 2011. But you're so quick to say, oh yeah, he was a Republican. And I believe you might put your foot in your mouth. I don't know.
What wasn't he talking about? Obama then?
No, Keith, listen to me. I said, I do not know in 2011 if he was a Republican or Democrat. Are you understanding me?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know.
Around when he was talking about Obama.
I don't know. I'm sure somebody can find. I don't know. I'm sure somebody can find out. I don't know. Okay. If the emails of what you're saying came out in 11, that means he probably did those things in 2009, maybe 10. And you understand, those are the emails. It might have been sooner than 11. But all I'm saying is if it comes out that he was a Democrat while he was doing those things, then maybe he's had a change of heart. And that's why he's a Republican now. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I would like to know. Somebody find out if he was. I don't know. To me, it don't matter. But it would crush Keith's world if it come out that he was a Democrat. How dare a Democrat do these things? Because Keith wants him to be a Republican. He was a Republican when he did those things. Well, what about when he became a felon? What year did he commit these crimes? He was a Democrat when he was committing these crimes, right, Keith?
A medium.
Listen, all these things that lady, Tanisha Williams, whatever her name is, all those things, all those crimes that he did them when he was a Democrat.
Sure. I mean, okay. You know what I mean?
All right, then. So why is it all the Democrats are so bad, Keith? Let's talk about that because Trump was a Democrat at the time.
There's very few of good people in the political arena.
All right,
anyway,
thank you. Okay, thank you. You see why it don't matter? Now it don't matter no more, does it, Keith?
I mean, I'm just saying, man. We talking about this particular dude right now.
All right, then, bro. Listen. That's what the whole point is. The whole point is that crap don't matter, bro. That crap don't matter because I'm just gonna flip it right back on you and say, oh well, he was a Democrat back then, so it was a Democrat that made them committed all them crimes. I'm just saying it's a stupid argument. The whole thing.
He wasn't independent, Trot. He wasn't independent in 2011.
Thank you.
He wasn't a Democrat
or a
Republican.
All right, thank you. So he wasn't.
Then he changed to be a Republican in 2012.
All right. So he wasn't a Republican though when he committed those crimes, right?
No, he just came off of a Democrat.
So I'm just saying that's why they're stupid arguments because he wasn't a Republican. And he's like, oh, well, he wasn't a Democrat either. Okay, but the point is, it's a stupid argument. Stupid. The whole thing is.
Well, Google AI says he was a Democrat, and then he then was an independent, and all these other things until now.
He was a Democrat when a lot of those crimes happened. He was a Democrat. Okay, but everybody wants to run to he was an independent. He was a Democrat first. Mac said, Mac. Listen, if it ain't you that started it, one of us would have started it. And Mac, first off, you didn't start it. Keith did. Not you, just to be clear.
Yeah, I did this, Matt.
Yeah. But we ain't mad. Keith, we ain't mad at you, bro. You know, the shenanigans happens 90% of the beginning of a D-scaled anyway. So
right.
Listen, if it wouldn't have been this, it would have been me ranting about the Cowboys for 30 minutes. So don't worry about it. All I can say is I have more money in my wallet while Trump is president. Yeah, that's a lot of people right now. But again, that's neither here or there. All right. What are you yawning about, woman? Let me see. Hey, don't be coming in here talking smack. I'm gonna boot you out of here. What's wrong with you?
Oh, she was mocking you when you were saying, hold on.
Let's see.
Since we have an official saint in here, Saint Mackenzie, can we now go on to the scriptures? Do we have the favor of God? Does Mackenzie stand in as Mary does Jesus?
Oh Lord,
does she stand in for Trot the same way?
She's like, whatever he tells you to do, do it. All right, yeah. So today is a timeless Yeshua. A Grit Mastery family. I apologize. Yeah, so we'll be talking about what it
godly
looks
man,
like.
Right?
Yeah. What does a godly man look like? Right? What does a godly man look like? Yes. What does a godly man look like? That's what we're talking about today. So I need everybody to screenshot. And there you go. That's the end of the show. We will see y'all tomorrow.
That's the same picture in God's wallet.
That's it. Listen, when you get up to heaven, you just tell him, say, I need to know if something's true or not. Open your wallet. As soon as he opens it, you're going to see that right there. Just like that.
But now you guys can start tapping the screen, sharing the live, reposting, adding to the story.
Yeah, y'all can do all that. All you got to do is
the shenanigans.
All you got to do is ask my wife, man. You know, she tells the truth like maybe 99% of the time. So all you got to do is ask her if I'm lying.
Say my wife.
My wife. Yeah. Just ask her. She's right there. She in there somewhere. Dre, what's up? You gonna start or what?
Give me just a second. Sending something.
What kind of face? What does that face mean? What does that mean? It looks like meh.
That's what it is.
It's like meh.
That's what it is. When you type in the word meh, that face pops up.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm a good husband, right? Meh. You're so. I tell the truth 100% of the time. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because just how Mary was sinless, Mackenzie's sinless, right?
Hmm. Just like
right,
just like who is sinless?
Well, in the doctrine of the Catholics, Mary was sinless, so I guess Mackenzie is sinless too, right?
Hold on.
Sinless.
Hold on, give me a second. Mackenzie, I just saw your comment. You said you are so. It's funny because when I saw you in person in your house, in your kitchen, you said that Trot was the most amazing human being you have ever met. And then you said, not only is he the most amazing human being, you said he is the most amazing, perfect husband you have ever seen in your life.
Facts.
And you went on to say that you thank God for him, because if it wasn't for him, and then tears started rolling down your eyes at that point.
Yep, I was
and
there.
Then I just
it's time to send Dre a galaxy right now.
I sent him all the galaxies beforehand. Let him do his thing. He already know. We already talked about this.
And I just patted you on your back and I said, it's going to be okay, sister. I understand. He's an amazing, amazing human being. You said he was a warrior. You said he defended the country. You said he has protected you and everything.
Y'all notice he's reading from a script. Y'all notice he's reading from a script that I sent him. Go ahead, Drake. Continue. Finish. Get to line 7.
Wasn't the phrase, Trot's the husband every wife wishes they had?
She did say that. Bro, that's straight facts. That's what she said. That's what she said.
See, the spirit reminded me of that truth.
Mm-hmm. Yep. She said, and there I was.
If any man speak, let him speak of the oracles of Trot. And that's what I did.
I'm telling you. Straight facts. They're not lying. No, I did not. But yes, you did. Yeah, you did. You played around for 30 minutes and then finally you said, you know what? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just go to her Facebook. Just go to her Facebook. Look what she put. Drake, go to her Facebook. I want you to read what she posted yesterday.
Oh, she's going to delete it before I get
Hurry up.
I'm not begging, but I'm not opposed to receiving a galaxy as well. Just saying.
Oh, wait a minute. You didn't get them? Whoa. You didn't get them already? Hold on a second. Hold up. Wait a minute.
Bro, I don't have Mackenzie as a friend on Facebook.
Ah, man.
She blocked.
Huh? She hurry up and blocks you. Net, are you in here? Is Ron in here? Ron, put it in the chat. Hurry up. Let's see. I could have swore. Net, put what she posted on the chat. Hurry up, Net, or come up here and say it. I don't care if you're selling a car. You tell them to wait. Go to Mackenzie's Facebook to see what she posted last, bro, and put it in the chat. Hurry up before she deletes you or the post.
Hey, look at Mick testifying down there. Look at that testimony.
Look at that. That's a true. Look at that. Mick telling the truth right there. Mick, hey, what Mick's doing is like, can we get back to the man of God thing? How do we get off topic? Ned, you taking too long, bro. Hurry up.
How did we digress again?
It's Jordan's fault. Jordan's always changing the subject. Jordan's thinking, wait a minute, was it my fault?
Is it my fault, really? Did I start this?
Yeah,
Did I start this?
Was it? I'm pretty sure
Yeah. Oh my God, Ned, what is taking so long? Oh man, too long. All right, who's gonna read it? Psalms 128, as Big Net is searching.
Looks like you do got a new guest in the bottom as well.
Oh, okay, we do. Let me do that real quick. James, what's up, James? What's on your mind, man?
Hey, how you doing, gentlemen and ladies? Good morning, for one. What was on my mind was my birthday on Monday, and then Veterans Day on Tuesday, which was yesterday.
Awesome.
And so I'm 250 years old now.
Sweet. That's amazing. Yeah. You sound amazing.
Yeah. Well, the Marine Corps, we've been around for a while.
Yeah, you sound amazing. Your voice sounds strong for 250.
Well, I was. Thank you, sir. I was going to say that and he's not a Marine. I mean, everybody loves Chesty Puller and all that kind of wonderful stuff, and Smedley Butler and everything. But I would have to say one of the ones that I think should be honored the most is Audie Murphy. From World War II. Yeah, he and after World War II, because he's one of the most highly decorated soldiers in American history.
Yeah,
and when he got out, he actually became a movie star, and he was the very first one that talked about PTSD and the stuff that he was struggling with. His gambling problem, his drinking.
Except my friend request Mackenzie stop running.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, you're good. You're good. Did you know in the Army they have a thing called an Audie Murphy board? Did you know that?
Yeah, my understanding is that's like a meritorious board.
Yeah.
The same thing the Marine Corps has. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what's cool about it is if you actually go to it, right? Because anybody can go to the board. And if you win, right, because there's a bunch of people that's going to be trying to outdo you in like Audie Murphy / military history, but they're going to throw a lot of Audie Murphy in there. And if you beat everybody, you get to wear a medallion during PT, dude. It's things like this big. And
shut the F up. Really? I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And so when I graduated first in my class in basic training, there was probably 350 maybe people, and when I went to basic, and I graduated first in my class, and they make you. By the way, they make you go to the Audie Murphy board. Like you will go to the board. Maybe not the challenge, but you will go to the board. Meaning you better learn something. You don't got to learn everything about them, but you're going to go through this board anyway. Well, at the end they have a challenge, and the only reason that I didn't get to go to the Audie Murphy board is because there was a couple of people that tied a few things, and we had to go run again anyway to make sure who got top in the entire class. And basically, I had to choose either graduate first in my class or go to the Audie Murphy board. And I wanted to go. I really did. I thought I had a chance at the time. I did a lot of studying. But anyway, if you go to that actual competition and you win, you wear an Audie Murphy medallion. If you look it up, it's huge, and you can, and once you have it, they have Audie Murphy PT, which means you don't have to do PT with the rest of the guys. You go to an Audie Murphy medallion recipient PT session, and every morning, all the Audie Murphy people that won the medallion, they wear it while they're running around. It's actually pretty neat.
May I ask a question, sir?
Sure.
Okay, so is part of that PT standing on an M10 for an hour, taking out 250 friggin' motherfuckers? It's not based on like things that he did when he was at war. It's just actual PT, like, So it's not really portraying, because he played himself in movies that he actually. Yeah, so like they made movies about him, and then he played himself, the actor in the movie. And when you read what people said that he was doing during battle, and I've been to war myself, so some of the stuff that they're saying, I'm like, yeah, that would be kind of odd for someone to be doing that. But the way he looked at it was, it needed to be done, you know, and there's a few times that he could have got pew-pewed by his own. I mean, there could have been some serious friendly fire. And I think the way he was viewing it was, well, if I do this fast, they won't shoot me, you know, and he just go do this thing. And everybody's like, who is that? Who just did that? Who was that was over there? They're like, oh, that was Audie Murphy, you know, like, God, again, like the dude is just, and it is what it is.
He was phenomenal. He was phenomenal. I mean, and he was just a good person, not to mention, I mean, he was 5'4", like 120 friggin' pounds.
Yeah, he's a little dude.
I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody, all branches denied him, and then there was a Army recruiter, from what I understand, if history is accurate. There was an Army recruiter that said, no, he's 5'5", 180 pounds, and that's why he was able to get in, because everybody denied him. He went to every branch.
Yeah, he's a little dude.
Denied him.
Yeah, he was a little dude.
And,
it's a trip.
And you know, I'm a Marine, so I did 2 tours in Iraq, 2 Afghanistan, and 2 on the 31st Mu. My MOS, I'm an 0331. I'm a machine gunner, and you know, I'm a small guy too, man. I'm only 5'7", and I would have to say that even though he's an Army dog, you know, you got to give that son of a gun his respect. And the worst part is it's like Chesty Puller, you know, he does all of this stuff. He gets out and he ends up getting unalived by a friggin' vehicle accident. Right?
Yeah.
And Audie Murphy, he ends up getting unalived
in
with
an
a bunch of
airplane.
people in
I think
an airplane.
Yeah, an airplane. Yeah.
Because the guy wasn't rated to fly that plane.
Yeah, believe it or not, I had a guy that I put in for the Bronze Star. He got it. He was my breach man when I was overseas. Phenomenal dude, like kind of crazy. There was a Bradley that was on fire because of a big boom. You know, certain things we can't say on here, and there were people in there screaming because, you know, I mean, imagine, you know, you're unaliving because of hot stuff, you know. Anyway, so. There's a lot of things that happen after the boom, a lot. So some of my guys had to go over here, you know, get some people that were hurt. We started receiving, I mean, there was I remember screaming left flank. So we got flanked from the left. Anyway, and Bumpers, that's his last name. I hear him like saying, he's screaming at me, but I'm giving commands over here. Anyway, and so I look at him, and all I see is a bunch of smoke, but I see him. I know his run. He's running through the smoke, and I'm like, you know, you want to question what they're doing, but he's one of those guys that he was very, like, savvy to what's going on. So it was hard for me to question what he was doing. I wasn't sure what he was doing, but there's so much going on. And I just remember him coming back, and he's got burns on his hands, and he saved one of the dudes. The rest of them didn't make it, but he saved one of the dudes out of there, and some other stuff that happened. But I'm bringing him up because when he got back, he was involved in a vehicle rollover, and the officer said he couldn't have been driving no faster than 20 miles an hour. So he wasn't speeding. It was just a freaking nature thing that happened, and he became unalived. We weren't back but a few months, you know.
Damn.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, so I got one for you, brother. So let me name a couple of the few that I served side by side with. One, he was a staff sergeant when Corporal Dunn did what he did out of that unalived house and jumped on a rolling thingamajigger that unalived him, which is Corporal Dunn, which actually they named I believe an aircraft carrier after him.
What year did you go to Iraq?
I was in from 2005 of March to 2013, and I did like I said, I did two in Iraq, 2 Afghanistan, 2 on the 31st.
Yeah, what year did you go to Iraq?
I went at the end of 2005 because, you know, it was the height of the war.
Yeah.
So,
well, I went when it started. So at the end of 2002, I was already over there. Right.
Oh,
so
shit, okay.
Yeah. I went when it was bad. And so I went again at the beginning of 2006. So you might have been over there. We might have been over there together if you went at the end of 2005. Did you ever heard of a road called Red Wings?
No, but no? I was on Route Bronze multiple times.
No.
So when I was in Iraq both times. I was in South Sinjar, Haditha, Ramadi, and then able to do QRF. My platoon got picked for RCT 7 for a QRF in Al Assad.
Mm-hmm.
So we were going to do whatever was needed whenever we were called up.
Yeah, go ahead.
When I was in Afghanistan, both times I was in Helmand Province, Garmshmir district by Camp Dwyer and Camp Delhi, but I was in ETT. So I was trained in the AMP. So we were rolling down towards the refinery a lot. And then we would train the Arbaki and then send them up to Leatherneck to do their actual police academy. And then they would come back and go back into the village. And then on the 31st MEU, you know what it is. It's a booze cruise. You go into Okinawa. I got to eat taco rice. I was on Hanson. I got to go into Kenville, and then we jump on ships and we do grid squares. So I was on the Juno, the Essex, the Tortuga, and the very last time I was on the Baham Shard, which ended up, for some reason, getting friggin' like burned down in San Diego. I don't know exactly the details, but my understanding was that there was like an ammunition problem, and it ended up burning up the ship down in San Diego. And then when I got out, I became a Pinkerton detective for 5 years. I worked for Triple Canopy for 3 years, so I was a merc, and then I worked for Motco PD, and I'll bring up some cool stuff because
we can't talk too much longer about it because we got to move on. Listen, we talk about Jesus on here like 90% of the time. The other 10% is
my hair.
Huh?
Don't make fun of my hair.
Why not? It's funny.
Yeah, because I need a haircut.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Well, I got one for you.
You got what for me? Bro, you don't want me to pull mine out. You want me to pull mine out, bro?
You know what this is.
Well, Well, see, you did it to me. Hold on a second. You shouldn't have done that. Hold on a second. Hold on. I only got to show one, bro.
Like I said, I was a Pinkerton detective. So yeah, they actually gave me a silver. I don't take it out of the case, but they actually gave me a no nonsense silver Pinkerton coin when I was working for them. So I'm not BSing.
Yeah, no. Here you go. Here you go, bro.
Then I got this one.
There you go.
Oh, that's nice.
Nice. Hold on. Oh no, you don't.
Nice.
Hold on. I want you to read that, if you can. Can you read that?
I can't read it, sir.
Can't read that?
No, sir.
No. Yeah. All right.
What's it say?
Well, I need someone else to read it. I don't want to be the one to read it. I guess I'm gonna have to. It said
this is the last time that I went to the Marine Corps birthday. And they actually had it in Vegas, so they made little freaking chips with our unit and everything on it.
Yeah,
isn't that freaking cool?
I see that. Cool? Yeah, I see that. Yeah, the officers make sure to spend that money on things that make everybody feel comfortable.
And they gave us this. They
gave you
dice.
A die.
Yeah, they gave us dice.
That's funny.
With our unit and everything on it.
That's funny.
And I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, just this stuff you got to keep.
And then this is the one when I was in Helmand Province, because remember I was teaching the AMP.
Yeah. All right. This is the last one. Okay. I don't want to go get off 75,000 of mine either. Yeah.
Okay. So they
like
gave
a
us
police badge.
One. Yeah, they gave us a police badge.
Yeah, that's cool.
And they showed us where we were at in Helmand Province in Afghanistan.
Yeah, that's cool.
Isn't that
I like that.
Cool?
That is cool. Yeah. No, that is cool. Well, hey, thanks for hanging out. You can hang out longer if you want to. We're going to move on because if I don't, I'm going to start getting my ear pulled like a little kid. So, but good times, obviously, and some memories that are not the best, but it is what it is. All right, who's reading Psalms 128?
Wait, are we actually starting now?
Yeah, we're starting now.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
James, you're good, man. You're good.
Let's see. We're going to. Did somebody already have it up? Because I will pull it up. I was reading it already though.
I got it up. Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. Psalm 128. Song of Degrees. Blessed is everyone that feareth the Lord, that walketh in his ways. For thou shalt eat the labor of thine hands. Happy shalt thou be, and it shall be well with thee. Thy wife shall be as a fruitful vine by the sides of thine house. Thy children like olive plants round about thy table. Behold, that thus shall the man be blessed that feareth the Lord. The Lord shall bless thee out of Zion, and thou shalt see the good of Jerusalem all the days of thy life. Yea, thou shalt see thy children's children, and peace upon Israel.
All right, Dre, hit it. Your mic is muted. Okay.
My bad. I'm sitting there talking.
That's all right.
I'm glad you said something. You know, it's a double mute thing, the one on TikTok and the one on the board. So, So the reason I brought this up is because I see like 4 different dynamics here within a man. So obviously, it's talking about anybody who's blessed. Anybody who fears God and walks in his ways, they're blessed. Obviously, we see that. And it talks about the fruit of thy hands. And I think in the past, we've said this before, like, God is not a respecter of men, you know, and we see this in Timothy. We see this in different verses in the New Testament where if he doesn't work, then you don't feed your family. And if you don't feed your family, my friend, then you are worse than a pagan. So we see here like the works of the hands of a man of God, or what a man of God should do, a provider. You see the provider aspect. We see the family dynamic here. It says, thy wife shall be as fruitful vine on the sides of thine house, and thy children as olive plants around thy table. So again, you see here like the family dynamic of a man of God. It talks about his wife. It talks about his children. And that we've talked about like the olive tree plants around the table. We've talked about what this looks like spiritually as well. And then we continue on, and it talks about, thus shall the man be blessed that feareth the Lord. And it says, and the Lord shall bless thee out of Zion, and thou shalt see the good of Jerusalem all the days of thy life. So then you see sort of like what you would consider a community aspect of a man of God. So you see the work aspect, you see the family aspect, and you see the community / if you will, church aspect of a man, and the community and the generations thereof. So as somebody who leaves impactful legacy as time goes on through their children and their children's children. I like there's this thing that Tony have you heard of Tony Evans?
Is that the guy out of Dallas?
Yeah, he's out of Dallas.
Yeah, he stepped down or something.
Yeah. He stepped down on some weird stuff. I don't know what's that, but again, maybe Keith, we shouldn't take anything he says, because he done messed up.
Oh yeah, where's Keith? Is Keith still in here? Hey Keith, should we listen to Tony Evans or what?
You say Tony?
Yeah, Tony Evans.
Tony.
Should we listen?
I like Tony Evans.
No, you can't like him, bro, because see, he's a man of God, and he said he was in sin, so he stepped down. And Donald Trump is never. He's president. He's not a pastor of a church. So if you don't like Trump because he's got faults, you can't like Tony Evans, sir. Based on
why not?
Based on your own logic. What you mean?
No, I didn't say I didn't say I didn't like Trump.
Oh yeah, why'd you bring up all his faults just a minute ago then?
Because he keep doing dumb stuff.
He keeps doing he committed crimes in the White House too. That what you're saying?
Man, he did some weird stuff in the White House while he in the White House.
Come on. Listen, that's why you can't like Evans. That's why.
Why?
Because he did some weird stuff, bro.
Well, Tony corrected his action.
How do you know that? How do you know? Do you go eat lunch with both of them? No. Hold on a second. Dre, hold on a second. Hold on. Okay, Keith, do you go eat lunch? Do you go eat lunch with them? You know them personally, bro?
Derailed again.
Hey, you're causing it to go that way. Keith, do you eat lunch with these two guys?
No, I don't.
No, bro, come on. You don't know either one of them, bro.
You're right.
All right. All right. So when you don't really know somebody, it's just a bunch of hearsay. All right, Dre, go ahead.
So, James, you got something, man? You got your hand lifted up. Like, what's up, man?
Yes, sir. Three things, and I'll be very quick. One, with what you were saying, with the gentleman working and so on and so forth. My understanding when I was studying the different religions before I went overseas, my understanding is that a man is supposed to work the earth, and from the dust we shall become, and so on and so forth. One, what do you think about that? Two, what do you think about Isaiah 6:8? And then three would be to the host. Would we be able to listen to Paul Harvey if I was the devil speech, which is only a couple minutes long?
Yeah. All right. So, what about Isaiah? Don't be vague about Isaiah 6:8. What do you mean?
Well, Isaiah 6:8 is when the Lord spoke unto us, and he said, "Who shall I send? Whom shall I send?" And I said unto the Lord, "Send me, I shall go."
Yeah. So who's going?
Me and you, brother. We've already been there.
All right. Let me just go to it real quick.
And then if we could, the Paul Harvey speech, "If I am the devil." I don't know if you guys know who Paul Harvey is. Paul Harvey was like a really predominant.
Is that the guy? Is that the guy that says, "If I was the devil," and he says, "This is what I would do," and he starts explaining stuff that's happening today?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah. Well,
I think that would be pertinent to the conversation that we're having about Christianity.
Well, yeah. I mean, kind of, because what we're really talking about is what a godly man looks like today. That's what we're talking about. So I'll go over these things real quick. But yeah, so, and then we'll just get back to the topic, but that's fine. But Isaiah 6:8. Okay, so let's see. I just want to make sure that we're talking about Isaiah 6:8, where it says, "Also I heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send?" Right? Just to be clear, that's what you're talking about. Right? Yeah.
Yes,
all right. So in 6:1 it says, "In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw also the Lord sitting upon a throne, high and lifted up, and his train filled the temple. Above it stood and seraphims, each one had 6 wings. With the twain covered his face, and with the twain covered his feet, and twain he did fly. And one cried unto another, and said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. And the posts of the door moved at the voice of him that cried, and the house was filled with smoke. Then said I," so we have to find out who is this. Who is this I right here? Somebody go find out for me. Who is this I? I need to know who that is.
That would be us. That would be us.
Well, let's just see in context who this I is, because it tells us. It tells us who it is. Who's gonna look that up and find out who the I is?
I don't have my Bible with me. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You don't. Somebody else can do it. All right. So let's just confirm who the I is. Okay. It says, "Then said I, who is me? For I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips. For my eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts. Then flew one of the seraphims unto me." So this person that's here is talking about a seraphim coming to him, and he says, having a live coal in his hand, which he had taken with the tongues from off the altar, and he laid it upon my mouth, and said, Lo, this hath touched my lips, and thy iniquity is taken away from me, and thy sin purged. Also I heard the voice of the Lord saying, Whom shall I send, and whom
shall go for us. Then said I, Here I am, send me. And he said, Go and tell the people, hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see ye indeed, and perceive not. Make the heart of his people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and convert, and be healed. Then said I, Lord, how long? And he answered, Until the cities be wasted without be wasted without inhabitant, and the house without man, and the land be utterly desolate, and the land have removed men far away, and there be a great forsaken in the midst of the land, but yet in it shall be a tenth, and it shall return, and shall be eaten as a tail tree, and as an oak, whose substance is in them when they cast their leaves. So the holy seed shall be substance thereof. Did somebody find it? Who's the I here?
Bro, it's Isaiah.
Right, because it's the book of Isaiah. So Isaiah is the one saying that he's going to do all these things. And when it says that the seraphim came to him with a coal that was on the altar, it's talking about the fire of God, right, that was put into his mouth. That's what the verse is referring to regarding Isaiah 6:8. In the Paul Harvey speech, Paul Harvey was someone that read the Bible, right? And the Bible makes these things clear. So everything that Paul Harvey was saying really comes from the Bible. So he was really just saying what the Bible says when he's like, if I was the devil, this is what I would do. And that, where did he get that information from? He got it from the Bible. So the Paul Harvey speech, he's not the only person that believes that that's all Satan has to do. There's actually a lot of people that believe that that's all Satan has to do, because Satan's job is just to influence us with words. That's all he can do. So the Paul Harvey speech, because he's popular, it looks like he created this idea, but that's not true. He got all this from the Bible, right? The Bible already kind of explicitly describes those things, and he just kind of repeated. So what was the first thing you brought up, James? It was before Isaiah 6:8. I don't remember what it was.
We were talking about what Mr. Dre was talking about us working, us as men, are supposed to work the land, and from the dust we shall return, kind of thing.
Oh,
I was just trying to clarify if that's what the gentleman was trying to say, or if maybe I'm not listening correctly.
Yeah. No, I mean, we just started talking about what a godly man looks like. We just started, like, when me and you started going back and forth, about chewing the same sand down there. We hadn't started yet, so not really, not technically. So after me and you were done with that, Dre just read Psalms. I think it was 128. Ain't that what you read, Dre?
Yeah, Psalms
that's the one.
Yeah. And in Psalms 128, because it does talk about working with your hands, it does talk about Zion. Where am I at? Oh.
So I was curious because so I've studied multiple religions before I went overseas.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want, how it is. If you go to a village and you don't know what you're doing,
yeah,
you don't know, you can get unalived really quick by the whole village.
Yeah.
And so I studied the Quran, I studied the Torah, I studied the Christianity Bible, I studied 3 of the Christian Bibles, and then I studied Buddhism as well before I went overseas.
Yeah.
So I kind of understood, not only the culture, but the religion, so I didn't mess it up. And that's kind of where I'm a little hazy with what Mr. Dre was saying about us working the land.
Yeah, and I'll just tell you real quick so we can move on. Okay, but working the land, I'm just going to be like, I'm just going to go straight to the jugular. So in the Bible, And I'm gonna tell you. So remember, okay, are you a Christian, James, or what religion did you crimp onto when you were reading about all the religions?
I'm not an atheist, but I don't believe in any religion due to the fact that everything that I've learned is all man written.
Yeah.
I would say I'm more of a believer of the Constitution of the United States.
Yeah.
Over 3 times by IEDs. And so I do know that there's a higher power. So I do believe in God.
Yeah.
I do believe in God.
Yeah.
And I do believe in I believe in some of the prophet of Jesus Christ. But I think that because it was man written, a lot of that is misconstrued.
Yeah, no, it is. And I'll show you, I'll give you an example on how a possible way, right? Maybe for you to look at it, because there's no denying that a physical man took a pen and wrote this stuff down. Like, I don't even know why Christians, like, they get scared when someone says that a man wrote it. A man did write it, right? But
it's not a beer. It's a jarrito.
You're fine. You're fine. It is possible, right? If there is a God, right? It is possible that God was telling the man what to write down. So how would that, why would that matter? Like, what does it matter that God told the man what to write down? That would be the question. If it's true that God was like, hey, write this down, then the question would be, well, why did God tell them to write this down? So what Dre was reading, where it says, and again, I'm getting straight to the jugular. So the land that's being mentioned in the entire Bible, okay? Now, so when a man wrote it down, and he wrote the word land, this person was alive, so he knew what land he was talking about. There was the land right there. The land flowing of milk and honey, right? Israel, it's physically still there. So it's like, okay, so a man wrote down, it's a history book, that they were there. Yeah, that is true. What could also be possible is that God is telling him to write this down for people today so he could spiritually tell us what it was really all pointing to. That's also possible. So I'm going to show you real quick, okay? Whether you believe it, take it or not, that's irrelevant to me. But I'm going to go back over Psalms 128, and it says, "Blessed is everyone that feareth the Lord, that walketh in his ways." Okay, that fear is not talking about being scared. It's talking about reverence, like being in awe, like where we get the word awesome, like to see God as something awesome. And it says, "For thou shalt eat the labor of thy hands, happy shalt thou be, and it shall be well with thee." Now, this is talking about the labor of our hands. Everything is a duality based on God. So obviously, the black letters on the white page is telling you that if you don't take a seed and go stick it in the ground, how are you going to get fruit or vegetables out of the ground? So clearly, for the man that's writing this down, that is what God is saying. But there's a duality. This is the reason that God had the man write it down this way. Right? Because if you want to eat from the word of God, you have to seek, right? This is where Jesus talks about seek and you shall find. So I'm going to show you what I mean. So it says, "Thy wife shall be as a fruitful vine by the sides of thy house, thy children like olive plants round about thy table." So clearly the black letters on the white page are telling you that your wife is going to have kids. They can sit around the table and y'all can eat together. Okay. But the duality part is we're supposed to have spiritual children, which means that if I meet a man that is not born again in his spirit, my job as a gardener is to plant the seeds of the Lord in him so he can become alive in God. Okay. So there's the duality. So it not only is it telling us to have physically children, we have spiritual children in this world. Regardless if anyone believes it or not, I am showing the other side on why God told a man to take a pen and write this down, what I'm saying. And that's why Jesus, when he was here and he said, those that have ears to hear, let them hear. He's not talking about the paddles on the side of our head. That's not the kind of hearing he's talking about. He's saying, I am, because a lot of the times he speaks in riddles. He does it a lot. And the disciples even told him, why do you speak to them in riddles? And Jesus said, well, you don't understand what I'm saying? And they said, well, yeah. He said, basically he's saying, well, if you understand what I'm saying, it's not a riddle. Yeah. What's up, James?
Oh, no. I agree with you.
Oh, okay.
I agree with you probably 100%. And we've seen it before.
Well, hold on, James, let me finish 128 because we got to continue. Okay. All right. So, in Psalms 128:4 says, behold, that thus shall the man be blessed that feareth the Lord. Again, a man is blessed when he recognizes that God is the awesome thing. Okay. And 5 says, the Lord shall bless thee out of Zion. So that's where the disciples received the Spirit, was on Mount Zion. That's where they received the Holy Spirit. So when it says the Lord shall bless thee out of Mount Zion, that means when you receive the Holy Spirit, this is when you will become blessed. And the reason is because you'll start seeing the Bible different. It'll no longer just be black letters on the white page. You'll actually understand why God told a man, take a pen and write this down. There's a reason that they wrote it the exact way that they wrote it. So he says, and thou shalt see the good of Jerusalem all the days of your life. It says to see the good. This type of seeing goes all the way back to the Garden of Eden, where it says that there was a tree of life in the midst, and there was a tree of the knowledge of good and evil in the midst. And if you pay real close attention to the story, there's a lot of types of seeing. A lot. It looks like it's one, but it's not. It's not. There's two types. That's why Adam and Eve, it says, and their eyes became open. Their eyes became open, so they were blind before. No, they spiritually saw things a certain way. But when they listened to a lie, their eyes became open in that way of thinking. And so all of us that were born under Adam and Eve, we came into this world blind to the ways of God. So we could only see things based on carnality, which means when people read the black letters on the white page with their eyes that were quote unquote open in the garden, you can only see what the man wrote down. And that is not what God wants you to see. He doesn't want you to just see what the black letters on the white page is saying. He wants your eyes to be back opened like they were before Adam and Eve's eyes became open carnally. He wants our eyes. That's why the Bible constantly talks about Jesus opening the blind eyes. Physically, he was physically opening blind eyes. But when Jesus left, he said, greater things shall you do because I go to the Father. He's not saying that there's going to be more of us and we can go find all the physically blind people and open their eyes. To be honest, you've been to that other side of the world with me. I've been there. My physical eyes being open, that didn't help me come to the Lord because I could physically see the horror that was out there. That's not what brought me to the Lord. So what's the point of bringing someone's physical eyes open? Right? Now, obviously, those things will happen. It may not happen as much as it used to, but physical blind eyes will be open until the end of time. That will happen. He's not telling us to focus on people's physical eyes only. It's to bring the sight that we used to have in the garden, is to bring that back so we can see God. Okay, so it says, verse 6 says, yea, thou shalt see thy children's children, and peace upon Israel. And I'm not going to go through Israel, but it's talking about for eternity, that when we have a spiritual child, that one will have a spiritual child, and so on and so forth. So no, it's not talking about the third eye, bro. Now you
not okay? Eye,
yeah. You're the way.
Of the mind,
yeah, the imagination, right? The imagination, right? And we don't need. Well, all right. Before I get any further in that, Dre, where were you at? Let's continue. Where we're at, or where you're at, Dre.
There's also a guest request.
All right.
In the box.
Okay, Dre, go ahead, bro. Wherever you're at.
Unknown caller.
Oh Lord.
I don't remember where I was at.
That's all right. Just get somewhere. It's all right.
You were in Matthew. You were in Matthew, sir.
We were. I was talking about. So I'm obviously there's the descaled portion of this of Psalms 128. I'm just simply talking about like guys, as a man, like the things that obviously the number one thing of being an amazing man is being descaled. There's no doubt about it. Like if you can't see the scriptures for what it's saying, then you're gonna have a hard time. You're gonna fall apart like a $2 suitcase, so on and so forth. I'm just going strictly for people that are here, like what it means, what it looks like, because that's what we're talking about, Trout. What does it look like? What does a man of God look like? Obviously, spiritually, you have to be born again, and you have to be descaled. You have to let go of a lot of old ways of thinking. But after this begins to happen, I guess the question that I have for you, Trot, is what does this man begin to form like? What does he begin to think like? What does he begin to act like? What are the attributes of said man? And that's kind of what I was going with. And Tony Evans wrote something that I thought was pretty funny, and I'm gonna read it to you. Let me see if I can find it because I had moved it. He said, I thought this was funny. He said, a kingdom man is the kind of man that when his feet hit the ground each morning, the devil says, "Oh crap, he's up."
Mm-hmm.
He says, when a kingdom man steps out of the door each day, heaven, earth, and hell take notice. When he protects his woman under his care, she can do little to resist him. His children look at him with confidence. Other men look at him as someone to emulate. His church calls on him for strength and leadership. He is a preserver of culture and a champion of society to keep out evil and usher in good. I thought that was pretty well written as far as what said man would look like on a regular daily basis. And I think a lot of men think that they're like godly men, kingdom men. But I think especially after being around here for a long time, and I think even through hard times, you realize who falls apart like a $2 suitcase. And I said this at the last thing I preached, that everybody's talking about being a pearl. All these women were talking about being, women of God and this and that. But all I see is a bunch of crying, and all I see is a bunch of begging God for forgiveness, or begging God for things, physical things, or begging God for their family to be blessed, instead of walking in the blessing, understanding that you are blessed. So a lot of people believe, and that's the reason I even brought this up, a lot of men believe that they are men of God, but then when the hard time comes, that's the test. And to me, the test of change is time. That's the only thing that could test change is time. Because even, and you guys, everybody here is very familiar on TikTok long enough that you can see that people say X, Y, and Z, that they've changed their ways, and just give it time, and you'll see if this actually is a thing that actually happened. The path to a better man, or the path to a better life in general, it all begins with us. We are the ones that see this, the way that we look, the way that we, Trot said it yesterday, which I was changing the brakes at the time when he said it, but it's a fact. And he said this before, and I've heard other people say this as well. It's like, you don't like where you're at? Like, look at your feet, where you're standing at right now. If you don't like where you're at, then do something about it. That's it. You have the option to do that. You have to make something happen. So one of the very first, most basic elementary things of a man of God is that he's a provider. I don't understand how we are not, how this is even in question. And I'm going to read Timothy, and I'm going to, give me a second. I'm going to go back to Timothy. So 1 Timothy 5:8 says, but if anyone does not provide for his relatives, and especially for the members of his household, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. So when we're talking about provision here, we're not just simply talking about financial provision. We're talking about spiritual provision. We're talking about, and this is where I hang on to my messianic roots, where Deuteronomy chapter 6 tells us as men, one of the main things of a man is that you're supposed to be the priest of your household. 100%. You're supposed to preach the gospel to your wife.
Unknown caller.
Go to bed as you walked in the streets. Kids will see more God in your character than even just the Bible. And that's one of the things, for example, me, I have a great dad. I see you, James. Just give me a second. So my dad, for example, he's made a lot of mistakes, but one of the things that he did do, a lot of things he did right. One of the things that he always did right, and it helped me as a man, is that my dad was never a promiscuous guy. My dad didn't have secret, porn magazines under his bed. He never looked at a woman and said, "Oh, look, she looks bad, doesn't she?" Like, my dad was never like that. And he actually raised me to be very respectful in that sense. And I never even thought about that imagination. That thing was never placed in me, and it came through my father. And that's what I'm talking about. That was it's not just physical provision, it's also spiritual provision. So one of the main things, or I would say one of the foundational pieces of a man, is that you are a provider spiritually and physically. I'm going to stop there so you can jump in, try. And I think James is trying to jump in too, but I don't know if we want to run with that for a little bit, or how you want to proceed through this thing. Cause I don't really have anything written. I just kind of wanted to talk about it.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. Oh man, hold up. James, is your mic muted? Unmute your mic. Yeah. Were you just you got a question or what, James?
No. I was gonna agree with what Mr. Dre was saying. So my father, after he got out of Vietnam, he was a firefighter for 27 years, and so I grew up in a firehouse, and I would have to, especially through those hard times, is 100% accurate, and I just wanted to kind of agree with him on that.
Yeah. So what I was gonna say regarding I think,
and don't make fun of my hair, God. I gotta get a hair.
Oh, you're good, man. You're good. I think it's easy to. I think it's actually real easy for a guy, a male, okay, to think he's a man because of his age, his size, or his strength. And if you haven't met someone like this, I don't know how, but you will meet them. They will tell you that they are a grown ass man. That's what they'll say. I'm a grown ass man, and they're not lying. They physically are grown now. They're an adult physically, right? Sadly, though, there's a lot of grown men will make people believe that they're grown or they're an adult because, or better yet, if I was to just ask a question like, what does it mean to be an adult? And everybody was to give their opinion. I'll just tell you what it doesn't mean, just so we can kind of narrow this down. It doesn't mean loud. It doesn't mean physically strong. That's not what it means. It has nothing to do with how loud you can be or how abrasive you can be or, how verbally tough you sound. That's not what's making you a man. That has nothing to do with you being a man. How aggressive you can be in your language to another person, right? Like if you're intimidated, I've met so many of these people. They're intimidated by you, and so they think they got to be aggressive back to you because they see you as aggressive. And I'm like, I'm not doing anything aggressive in my head because I know what aggressive looks like, or I know what I look like when I'm aggressive. And they're like, really, they're a timid type person. And so they think they have to be extra, like we were talking about. They think they got to be extra, and in my head, I'm like, you're a boy. I get it. You're intimidated by me. So you act like a boy. It happens a lot. And so you just got to be careful. You need to know what it is you're talking to. They may be physically an adult, okay? 18 or older, all right? They're still an adult. But mentally, they think like a boy. They think like a kid. And you can see, a man can see when someone thinks like a kid. On the other part, if you got a man that's mentally like a kid, okay? But let's say he's really big, like 6'5", weighs 270 pounds, a lot of muscle. He could probably intimidate a smaller man. But the smaller man, if he's having a conversation with this bigger dude, he can still tell if mentally you're a boy or not. So a lot of times what you'll have is you'll have this guy that's really big, Okay. And he thinks that his job is to be a Viking. So he comes off very abrasive. And yeah, of course, there's humble ones. I've met the big guys that are humble, but I've met guys that have taken their size. And if you are trying to show them, and again, they may have asked, but maybe, you're probably stepping on their toes a little too much. And they see you as offending the way that they are mentally, they'll start being abrasive with you. They'll start being aggravated towards you because now in their head, they want to fight. Like they want to beat you at something. So you just prove to them that they're really a child. But because they're bigger than you, well, if I can beat you up, then I'm a man and you're a boy. There's a lot of people that are like this. There's a lot of people that talk tough because they're kids. They're just overgrown kids. All they do is play games all day. No offense if y'all love to play games, because I know people that know how to be an adult, but they play games too. I'm talking about someone that they're not an adult. They're not an adult in their head. The worst thing that kind of person could do is play games all day. You're already not an adult already, and you're playing games all the time. Where's the opportunity for you to grow as an adult? Where? There's not one. You don't have an opportunity to grow as a man mentally, okay? You don't have one if all you're doing is wasting your time still doing things as a kid, like a boy, okay? And I'm not talking about mistakes. I know people that has made mistakes and they're like, wow, how the heck did that happen? And that was it. The thing happened and that's it. But in the rest of their life, you'll know if they think like a boy because their life is just full of them. There's always stupid things that they're doing all the time. And that comes to the way that they think. They think like a boy. They can't keep a woman. They always have to be right about everything. Okay? And I'm not talking about some things. I'm talking about everything. I rule my house. I run the house. Everything's about me, very abrasive. So a godly man isn't someone who's just loud. Okay? Now me, I'm loud all the time, but I don't think I'm a man because I'm loud. But there are people, they're loud on purpose because they think that means I'm a man. And it's not. It has nothing to do with how loud you are, okay? And I'm talking about towards topics or conversations, okay? So if you're physically strong, that's great. But a man, listen to what I'm saying, a godly man can tell when another dude is being loud on purpose or trying to like prove how strong they are. Listen, if your mind is good and you do think like a man and you take care of your own, there's always, and another thing, a physical adult man that still thinks like a kid, they cannot determine when someone is trolling them or not. Do you understand? They don't do well. They don't do well when men are doing locker room talk stuff, okay? Like maybe knocking each other down or playing a prank. Like, and I'm not talking about ridiculous pranks, okay? Just small things, all right? A guy that still kind of has like a mentality like a child, they don't do well with those kind of things, okay? And the reason they don't do well is because they still haven't really figured out where they are. And it's crucial because your peers, people you hang out with, they're going to notice that you don't do well with that stuff. And so what you have to do is you got to put yourself around guys that know how to think like a man. You have to put yourself around them. And if you just happen to be the, most immature one, it doesn't matter because 5 or 10 years are going to pass by. No matter what, 5 or 10 years are going to pass by, and you either learn something from those men or you were too much a coward to go put your childish mind around them so you can kind of knock some of that, that childish way of thinking so you can knock some of that off. At some point, you have to force yourself. When I was like 13, I would hang out with 20-something-year-old dudes. I didn't hang out with just junior high dudes, or I did with some of them that I played baseball or football with, but a lot of times I hang out with older guys, okay? Obviously, I hung out with guys I went to school with, but I also hung out with older dudes. And I'm not talking about people that drink and do drugs and act like an idiot. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about actual men. I hung out with men. So at a young age, I was always shown how to be a man. I would purposely put myself around people that I knew, well, that guy's like, that's a real man right there. Again, based on Bible, meaning take care of your own family and all these little very basic things. But again, I'm pointing out what a godly man doesn't look like. Okay? And don't get it twisted what I'm saying. There are godly men that are loud. Loud is not the thing you're looking for. Oh, if they're loud, then they don't know how to be a man. No, absolutely not. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you need to be able to discern why someone is loud. Why? Why are you loud? And a man, what I'm saying is an adult man that thinks like an adult, when he hears a man being loud, he can tell why he's loud. It's either because he's scared or he's intimidated, like why are you, like, there's no need to act like that around us, right? But people that hang out with me, like you can ask my wife, other people in my family, I'm loud all the time. And they have to tell me, hey, you're being too loud. I'm like, oh, I'm not trying to be. I'm just used to being loud, right? But you could tell, you can discern.
Deaf.
Okay, well, you could say, some people say it's because I'm deaf. But what I'm saying is when people remind me, hey, you're being too loud. Oh, we could be in Walmart. There's no need for me to act like I'm tough in Walmart. So that's not what I'm doing. But I'm saying a guy that thinks like a man, when he's around a grown adult and the guy is like being loud or he's being real wordy, a bunch of words or trying to sound smart. Like, why are you trying to sound smart? There's 4 of us right here. We could be in the middle of the freaking nowhere. We got a fire going and you're trying to sound like you're smart, which means that boy feels intimidated. It's not hard to pick up. Let me just put it this way. You can't fake it. When you think like a boy, a man will see it. You can't fake it.
Well, may I ask a question, sir?
Yeah, go ahead, James.
So my lady, she's a God-fearing Christian woman, and she's actually taught me a lot about the Bible, a lot of things that I didn't understand, and she was able to articulate that stuff a lot correctly. Now, would you agree that a woman is the one that keeps us centered?
Talking about men?
Yeah, a woman, my lady,
yeah.
She keeps me centered.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I'll tell you what the Bible says. So what the Bible tells us is that we are head of the woman, but only if Christ is our head, meaning that we are taking orders from something bigger than ourselves, which obviously that's God, right? So when a man is taking orders from God, he'll know how to lead his wife. But let's say that let's say, James, like for you, let's say your wife is kind of more in tune with God's word. And let's just say for whatever reason, you're not as in tuned with it. That is, bro, what a blessing. And I mean, I'm being honest. If you're telling me that, when it comes to God, you're still kind of looking around, but are you saying your wife's a Christian?
Yeah, she's a Christian. She's she's taught me about quite a lot about the Christian part of the Bible.
Yeah. And, so let me say this. The Bible says talking about men, he who finds a wife finds a good thing, right? So it doesn't say he who finds a barfly finds a good thing. He who finds a gutter slut. I don't know what other words I can use to describe what I'm saying. It's not saying he who finds a female. That's not what it says. It says he who finds a wife. And when you go look at the definition of what a wife is, it's talking about someone who already knows how to be one. So if you're saying that your wife, she's already a Christian, which means she's probably in tune on a lot of things like how the Bible expresses itself, then what she's going to do is she's going to lead you into that truth. And it's actually a blessing for a man to find a wife. And again, this is not just saying any woman that knows how to treat a man. It's talking about any woman that knows how to tell a man, you're my lead. So if your woman knows that the man is supposed to lead, she's gonna go out of her way. She's gonna go.
Sorry, that's my lady. Give me a second.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's answering that. I'll just say it again when he gets on here. But a woman like that, like talking about James' woman, she's going to do everything in her power to get him to start leading. If not, then she's not the wife God is referring to. God is referring to a woman that understands that the man is the lead. That's the kind of wife that God is talking about. Not a pushover, none of that stuff. Because if a man is abusing his wife in any way, and yeah, of course we can point fingers and say, well, both male and female, they kind of abuse each other. I get all that. I get the little things. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, again, we're talking about what does a godly man look like? So a godly man is not loud to show how strong he is or loud to show how he's in control. I rule, I'm the head. He's not pointing to like how big and strong he is. I can overpower you. You better just listen to what I'm saying. Or you have guys that they're not very strong at all, and they're actually considered very weak, and they haven't done anything that would require a lot of mental strength. So what they'll do is they'll try to get smart and manipulate their woman with words, right? So now you have someone that the only thing they're good at is reading a dictionary and learning what words mean, so they can use witchcraft. And I know a lot of guys that are trying to figure out how to be a man, and they're not the big and strong guy, so they just manipulate with words, and they try to they use witchcraft to manipulate their way. So they can't overpower the guys. They're not big and strong, and if they try to yell, they sound like a toy when they scream. So they use words. They try to use knowledge as their strength, right? And it is true that knowledge is power. Like we know that's true. But when you understand the word and you know what a godly man looks like, you'll know when someone is trying to use their brain as power as a manipulative tool. And I call people out on this all the time, and they don't like me. I've never met one person that I see what they're trying to do, manipulate their way through the system, and I'll call them out. And boy, they can't stand me. And they can't stand me because I'm calling them out on their bluff. Like you're not big and strong. The wisdom that you're claiming you have, or your knowledge of a dictionary or knowing how to use words, it may fool, trying to manipulate you to like bend way and things like that. And so I think James left already, but it's all right. But if you ever met a guy where he's saying, hey, my woman, she's kind of showing me like what's up with the Bible. Man, honestly, if you catch yourself, whoever you are, you catch yourself in that position, you're in a good spot because that woman, she's going to be all about you. I've met some of these women where they're with the guy and the guy's just not on board or maybe don't understand. And, she can help him go a long way, so, Jay, what's up, man? What's on your mind?
Not much, man. Just peace and blessings to the panel and people on the live. I have a question about 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 16. If you would like to break that down for me, sir.
Hey, Jay, how long you been here today?
Today, I just got on break right now, about like 30 minutes.
Yeah, we're talking about what does a godly man look like.
Okay, sorry, my apologies.
Oh, you're good, man. If you want to say something about Corinthians, you go right ahead. Why don't you say something about it? Go ahead. I'll listen.
I wasn't sure what the topic was about, so I do apologize. Yeah, I'm not trying to change the topic.
No, I want to hear what you got to say about Corinthians. Go ahead.
Well, in 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 16, it says that we don't look at each other after the flesh no more, right? So I was just wondering, what's your take on that?
What's your take on it?
What is it referring to?
What's your take on it? That
we see each other after the spiritual man that we are.
Right.
Our identity is found in Christ Jesus.
Yeah. Right. So what's an example of someone looking at each other based on the flesh?
For an example would be somebody condemning you for eating pork.
Okay. Or something that they would feel or believe that is bad. Anything, right? Right?
Correct.
Yeah. So, like I said, I don't mind talking about it just for a little bit, but that's actually what Paul is talking about. So if the Bible is pointing out who you are in the spirit and someone else keeps pointing out who you are in the flesh, something's wrong with how that person is viewing you, because they're not viewing you based on the spirit. They're viewing you based on the flesh. Now, does that mean that, like, for instance, when Paul was telling the person that was in the Corinth church, right, he was having like relationships with his own mom or stepmom or mother-in-law or something like that. He was having a relationship with her. And Paul is like
his father's wife.
His father's wife, stepmother. Thank you. So he's having a relationship with his stepmother, and Paul is saying, hey, that's not okay. So now are we saying that Paul is not supposed to judge after the flesh? No, that's not what Paul's not saying it like that. He's saying that there are these things. Now remember, a lot of times in the Bible, Paul will bring up the law, but not in the sense that he used to bring it up. Paul did not teach the Gentiles the law the way he used to talk to the Jews about it. That's not true. That's not true. That's something that people would believe is true, but that's not true, bro. Paul could talk about the law forever. And when you go read his letters, there's this much of it in there for a reason. If he was talking about if the law was the thing to teach, it would be 90% law and this much Jesus and grace. But it's the complete opposite. 90% of what he's talking about is based on Christ and Christ alone. But he brings up the law because he was a Jew for a long time and he understood what those things meant in the Old Testament. So you do have to be careful on how you're judging someone based on a traditional thing or something like that. You do have to be careful. Is that good, Jay? Is that good enough for you, man?
Awesome. That's good stuff right there, man. I didn't know that. Yeah. Also, so is that why is that why he says in Romans 7 verse 14, I do what I don't want to do, and because, and then he says that's my flesh sinning.
Yeah.
Not my spirit.
Yeah. So if you look at the end of that, what he's saying there, he says, who will deliver me from this body of death? Remember?
Yes.
Right. And then the answer, what was the answer? Because he answers it.
I'm not sure. Is it Christ?
Yeah. He says, I thank God through Jesus Christ. So when did Christ save him from this body of death? Was it after he wrote this or way before?
Acts 9, right?
Yeah. So was he still praying to be saved, or what is he thanking Christ for?
For saving him.
For saving him. So this is how I know 100% he's not talking about right now that he's having a problem with sin. He's talking about the old him, because Christ already saved him. This is a big misconception in the Christian community. They think Paul is saying, right now, oh, wretched man that I am, right now. But he actually makes it very clear and says, I thank God. He said, who will save me from this body of death? I thank God through Jesus Christ, meaning Christ has already saved him from this body of death already. Right? So Paul is not talking about having a problem with sin. Paul didn't have a problem with sin. And people misconstrued that because they go, well, I still kind of get tempted, and I still, I'll just make it real clear. If someone was to ask you, if God himself was to ask you, do you want to stay with me or do you want to leave me? Jay, what would you say to God? Right there, straight to his face. If he came up to you right now and he said, hey, you can stay here on earth, but you'll come to heaven with me later, or do you want to come right now? What would you say?
Right now.
Right now. Now, what if he told you, okay, I want you to come now, but I need you to go save these people first? Would you stay and save those people, or would you leave?
Absolutely. Preach the gospel.
Okay.
Amen.
So that's how you know you're saved. All you have to do is ask yourself, if God was to say to me, do you want to come home with me right now or stay here? And you're like, oh, well, Lord, I'll go. And he goes, well, I do want you to come with me, but can you stay and save those people? Can you feed my sheep while you're here? If he did that, I don't know. I just can't find a Christian that would say, well, I would probably say, nah, Lord, I really don't even want to go to heaven with you. Listen, if you would tell him that, you're not saved, whoever you are. But if you would say to him, no, Lord, I want to go with you. And if he goes, well, why do you question whether you, well, the other day I did this thing. Bro, Peter just denied Jesus 3 times. And for anyone to say that that's not a sin, I don't know what you're token on, but it was a sin what he did. Period, the end. I don't care what anyone says. He sinned. He denied Jesus. And what does the Bible say? If you deny me before men, what does it say?
Deny you.
He's going to deny you. Well, how come he didn't deny him?
Who? I'm not sure on that one. Go ahead.
That's all right, Peter. Go ahead, it's Peter. Peter denies Jesus 3 times. And how come Jesus didn't deny him back? Anybody? Does anybody know?
I'm here to know.
Do what, Jay? What'd you say?
The denial Jesus is talking about is not talking about like an action of sin. He's talking about like your choice, your initial repentance, your initial choice on sin and God. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah, because he's not talking about your flesh denying him out of this fear that we get tempted with here. He's not talking about that kind of denial. He's talking about
the disco.
Yeah.
I got to get going. Okay, brother. Thank you for the knowledge. Appreciate you. It was awesome, man. Thank you. Appreciate you.
God bless. How you doing? Yeah. So he's talking about people that don't receive him as Lord and Savior. Peter believed that he was the Messiah, period. So God's not stupid. He knows who is denying him. So Peter, for anyone to tell me that he didn't sin, you're lying out your teeth. Yes, he did. And he didn't do it 1 time. He did it 3 times. He denied him. He was afraid. Okay. But when he received the Holy Spirit, he no longer has this fear, which proves 100% that if you have the Spirit of God in you, you're not going to deny him. You're not. Peter did. He didn't have the Holy Spirit dwelling in him. So when someone has the Spirit of God dwelling in him, you're going to act just like Peter. Look, I mean, there's several things I can say about that. But when you have Christians trying to tell other Christians that, if you're sinning in your flesh, then what's going to happen if you're sinning in your flesh, that God's going to deny you. It's real funny to be a hypocrite and tell people, you can stop sinning. You can stop sinning. I just don't believe they understand what sin is. Because they only talk about the big ones, right? Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal. Those are actually easier not to do. But like to say a white lie and to do these little things, sometimes you can do that and say, wait a minute, why did I say that? It's still a lie. It's still, even if you correct it, it still happened, right? So if you tell someone, the guys give me a hard time all the time because I tell them I caught freaking a 4-foot fish, which I'm not lying. There's people that seen it. But we know if you don't have a picture, it didn't happen, period. And I know that. So in reality, it didn't happen because I don't have no proof, right? Even if someone came up to me and goes, hey, remember that big fish? Yep, I ain't got a picture. It didn't happen. But if I was to just lie about 1 inch, if I was to say, yeah, that thing was 4 feet and the person that was there was like, it was actually 3 feet, 11 inches. Yeah, you're right. It was 3 feet. And then they're like, well, you lied, so you're going to hell. And then someone says, well, no, if you ask for forgiveness, I'm just saying when you're focusing on that carnality part and that's all you can see, you're not seeing God. You're just not. And we only went over that because Jay came up and he's on break. No big deal. Anybody got anything regarding what does it look like to be a man of God? Because I focused on what it don't look like. Right? You got to use to focus on the part that you're supposed to look like. It's based on your mental state. A man of God is a man of God based on how he thinks, not how he looks, how he sounds. It's not based on our 5 senses. Your 5 senses is not telling you if someone is an adult or a man of God. It's not your five senses. If you're allowing your five senses, I hear people all the time say things like, you ain't know. I remember, Nina might remember this. Nina wasn't alive. And I didn't know whose live it was.
I already know where you're going.
But that's my fault. But I went up there to mess with Nina, and I was like, where's all the masculinity at in this room? And a person said, you don't have none. You don't have no masculinity. But I already know that the person is referring to a physical thing, right? This person they may see a man as like big and strong, and I don't know. I don't know. But the comment was like, well, you don't have any. But masculinity that I'm really talking about is how a man thinks. I'm not talking about how well you play football, or I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about, do you know how to use this? Do you know how to use this, right? A man that knows how to use this. That's true masculinity, right? A leader of the house. The focus is, do you know how to use this? Meaning not making boyish decisions, not making very immature. You don't have an immature. Your life is not focused on pleasure, right? It's focused on responsibility, right? And people, a lot of times, they choose pleasure over responsibility. They want to party. It's about partying. It's about pleasure. Whatever you choose your poison, their lifestyle is pleasure. It's always vacations. It's always, now listen, I'm not saying that a man of God can't have pleasure. Don't twist what I'm saying. I'm saying that they choose pleasure over responsibility, meaning they live their life in pleasure more than they do. So instead of having, the best house they can have, the best vehicles, instead of that being important, even though they have a house, a car, what's more important to them is pleasure. So they use a majority of their money focused on pleasure than it is on responsibility, right? And you can see that in what the person is spending their money on, what they're doing. You can see, are they more focused on pleasure or responsibility? And as the man of the house, responsibility should be more important. So it's not pleasure. That's not what's more important. It's responsibility. You need to choose. Responsibility over. So a man of God chooses majority of the time responsibility over pleasure, right? So, excuse me. So, kind of like a field goal kicker in the NFL, they have a percentage. Like, they will make their field goals 95% of the time. That's a pretty good field goal kicker. A man of God has a higher percentage, meaning he will choose responsibility 95% of the time. If you were to do my rate, right, on throughout decisions throughout my whole life, it will be, he chooses responsibility 99% of the time, 98%. Mine's in the high 90s, okay? It's very rare that I chose the dumbest decision. You understand? So I tell y'all all the time, and I mean it. You can fill up this whole couch, and my overall poor decisions will embarrass the majority of you. I will embarrass you over poor decisions, okay? So I'm not saying that there's no poor decisions. No. I'm saying that when it's time for me to make a decision in the high 90 percentile, I make the best decision, not the dumbest decision. There are people that claim to be men, but when you throw decisions out at them, they have a high rate of making the dumbest decision. So it's not about whether you're going to make dumb decisions. It's about when it's time to make one, do you make the most correct decisions? Do you understand? Do you make the most correct one? And how often do you do that? You understand what I'm saying? So this is not about, is there failures in your life? I've never met a person that hasn't failed. And if you ever meet someone that says they've never failed, they could be telling you the truth. But what I'm going to tell you is you might not want to be in a lot of their decision making because you're going to fall with them. When a person has never failed, you might be in their life when they do. That might not turn out very well. So like, if you're a woman hanging out with this man and he told you, I've never failed in my life, that marriage may fail because he's going to fall at something. You understand? You would rather be with someone that's failed a few times and said, okay, I know how not to do any of that again. And they can have a strong relationship with you because they failed a few times. Now, a pastor today, like at a church, like a very well-known church, pastors today, a lot of them, there's no record of them ever failing, ever, right? And they'll tell you, don't go listen to someone that has failed. Don't you want to listen to someone that's never failed? Hey, put a 1 in the chat if you ever heard a pastor say that. Tell the truth. Have you ever heard a pastor tell you, you need to listen to someone that's not failed, not someone that has failed? Put a 1 in the chat if you ever heard anyone say that. This is when you have someone boasting about how good they are. Okay? Am I telling you not to listen to them? No. But that is an immature thing to say. It doesn't matter if someone failed. Your job is, if you have failed, did you learn from that? That's the only question you need to be asking. Did you learn? I remember getting my truck worked on years ago, and the guy that was working on my truck was a felon. Okay. And I had a bunch of police officers with me, and I was just training them. And the guy came up to me and he's like, hey man, I'm the one that's going to be working on. He was young, 22 maybe. And I could tell he was still beat up about some decisions he made. And he's like, hey, I'm the one that's going to be working on the truck. I'm a felon, man. Like, is it going to be okay? And I just remember seeing the defeat on this dude. And I said, hey, how old are you, bro? And he might have said 22, 23. I don't know, early 20s. And nobody was listening. And he was like, oh, I'm 22. And I said, hey, bro, look at me in my face, dude. And he's just looking at me, And I said, don't you ever go ask someone if you can work on their truck based on that kind of stuff. I said, don't do that to yourself, man. I said, this place hired you. They trusted you can do a good job. You just get in that car and do it. Now, if someone comes up to you and says, I don't want you to work on my vehicle because, I don't know, because you stole a car one time or whatever, I said, something's wrong with them. You just move on to the next car. I said, don't do that to yourself. I said, if people don't know how to show you grace, I said, then they don't need you groveling at their feet. He's like, well, I'm just making sure. I said, trust me when I tell you, all I want to know is if you could fix my truck. This is the first time I ran into that, And I remember thinking to myself, I just want to know if you can fix my truck. So I'm like, hey, listen, can you fix my truck or not? He's like, yeah. I said, well, then you're the man for me. Fix my truck. I don't care about none of that. I said, now don't go try to run for president because Keith going to look you up and tell him don't let him be president because he stole a car before,
Nah.
Hey, watch, Keith is going to be like, you know what? Let me up. Tired of y'all, But again, a dude can beat himself down because he doesn't know how to pick himself back up. That's not okay. That's not okay. A godly man, the Bible says, what is it? What's the failure rate? Does anybody remember? Nobody remember?
Godly man falls 7 times,
but he shall
back up.
But he shall rise again. Okay. So how do you
complete number of times?
The complete number, meaning it better not be more than this number, whatever that number. But if you want to know why it's 7, right? It's because the last time that you fail, remember, for some it could be 10 failures. For others it could be 200. The complete number is when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired. When you become sick and tired of being sick and tired, that is when you will stop. Whatever it is that you keep failing at. It could be one thing, it could be multiple things. And I hate it when people say, God will bring that thing around, like if God is tempting. God ain't bringing that around you. Stop saying that. If you hear somebody say that, tell them to shut up. Say, God, if you make the wrong choice, he'll bring that thing back around. Oh, got to make a choice again. And they look here. It's because they have a misunderstanding of the Garden of Eden. Adam, don't eat from that tree. And then he'll bring it around. If you eat up, he'll bring it around again. No, bro. No, absolutely not. Okay. It's you. You're too stupid to have a good time. You don't know how to tell your flesh to shut up. You don't know how to say where the Bible tells us to resist the devil and he will flee. You don't know how to resist. It ain't got nothing to do with God doing this. God's not doing this. You're doing it to your darn self. Hold on a second. Let me move this.
Yeah, while you're moving that, another thing that comes to mind is like how David in First Samuel, I think 30 verse 6, and it says that when the people, they were upset because of the decisions that he made, they ended up, losing their kids and their spouses, and they spoke of unaliving him with stones. And it said, but David encouraged himself in the Lord. So David, who's called the man after God's own heart, he found out what God's heart was, and he encouraged himself in those revelations, in that revelation of the Lord.
Yeah, he encouraged himself. And that's the same thing that we have to do. Carol, what's up, Carol? Oh, never mind. I guess
not me. She's like, not me.
I think it's whenever I say it, because they'll be there. I'll say it to you, and then boom, they're gone. Boom, they're gone. Everything. I'm just gonna stop telling you.
You're just gonna stop saying it. Yeah. No, it's all good. Yeah. Does anybody, any women got something to say about this or what?
Unknown. Good God. Oh.
Any woman got something to say about this? Huh? What a godly man looks like?
No, you pretty
she
much
got caught, and she was like, "Oh."
you went on pause. I was like, "Look at God."
Go.
Christian, what you got to say? Christian just got here not too long ago. Tell us, Christian.
I plead the fifth.
All right. Well, Nanny, if you got something to say, go ahead and say it, because I gotta drop you. Go ahead.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
My husband, he used to go to church and stuff, and then he got hurt real bad, and he doesn't go to church. But I know he loves the Lord and stuff, but he doesn't read the Bible anymore. He doesn't. I still follow. I mean, he still loves the Lord. I know he does, but it's really hard sometimes because he doesn't really. He doesn't really do anything. We don't, if I ask him about something, then he'll answer, but we don't really talk about the Lord together. He doesn't. Do you see where I'm going with this? I don't know.
All I see where you're going is your man don't talk about God.
And he doesn't, I still feel like he's still a godly man. He just doesn't really do anything else with it. Does that make sense?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Does he treat you right?
Yes.
Okay. So, when it comes to time to make a decision, do you feel like he makes the most correct decision?
Really want to talk to him and stuff, and he's just he's in a lot of pain. I try to be real understanding and real compassionate towards that. It's just sometimes I miss the times that we used to have when he was real into God's word and stuff. But he does treat me like a queen. I mean, he's very good to me, and I've never known such love as he gives to me.
Yeah. So when you say that he doesn't do anything with God, what do you mean by that? I don't understand what you mean.
He doesn't. Okay, like I want to have a Bible study with him, and he won't do it. He doesn't want to have. He doesn't.
I know he still loves the Lord with all my heart. I know he does.
Mm-hmm.
And he treats me really well. But like if I ask him, can we have a Bible study together? He's like, we'll see, or I don't know, or you know, something like that and stuff. And I miss that godliness that he used to have when in our family that he used to do with, you know, with us and our children. Of course, they're all grown, but you know, I just miss that time with him, and he doesn't want to make decisions. He leaves it all up to me and
well,
when
I'll tell you this, and don't take this wrong, because I'll say anything to 90% of you women in here, you all take it wrong. Listen, anytime a man, if you don't know this, I'm gonna tell you, I don't care what any other guy says, when a man lets the woman make the decisions, that's because she has manipulated the relationship to go in that direction. That means whenever he's trying to make decisions, or when he first tried, I'm not talking about you, but I'm telling you, it's over half. Anytime a man is like, no, you go ahead. No, you go ahead. It's because the woman has manipulated, meaning that if the guy makes a decision and the woman tells him, well, I don't want to do that, or I don't like that, or I don't want, he's just like, you know what, just do whatever you want.
I believe that. I believe that.
Well,
and I believe that I've done that.
Yeah,
I know I do. I really do.
Yeah. So in order to reverse that, okay, it would be you asking him, what do you want to do, but mean it. So if you're asking him, what do you want to do about this, and you don't mean it, and you're a liar, then he's just going to tell you, no, you figure it out. But hold on. But if you say, hey, what do you want to do about this? And he's like, oh, it don't matter. You go ahead. And you say, no, I really want you to decide what we're going to do. That means when he makes the decision, if you get mad or say, well, that's not the right thing. Well, you might as well forget him ever making decisions again, because you lied. You understand? So words they mean something. And a lot of people have gotten to a point where words don't mean nothing. They just say whatever the heck they want. They mean that words don't mean nothing. And so you cannot tell the person that's supposed to be head of the house. Now, again, if that was because y'all were, y'all were not playing the right role, him being under God, you being under him. If the relationship didn't start off like that, it's hard to get back to that. It's not easy. It's hard. It could take several years. It could take 2-3 years. It could take 4. It ain't going to happen in 6 months. So what you have to start doing is start telling him that you want him to decide how this is going to happen. And now you have to be the one to shut your mouth. You do. After he decides. Now, if you say, hey, decide how we're going to, who you're going to hire to put electricity through the house. And he hires, one-tooth big buck dumb down there, and they burn your house down, then you can say, look, moron, this is why I can't trust you to make decisions. Now, if that's the reason that you don't want him to make decisions, I don't see a whole lot of guys disagreeing with that, because sometimes at some point the woman does have to step in if something like that dangerous is going to happen. But if you tell him, hey, you know what, the whole inside of the house needs to be repainted, and you tell him to figure it out, and he gets the walls repainted and you don't like the color, that's when you shut your mouth right there, because the house didn't burn down. So now, like we were talking the other day, you're being extra. So are you going to let him make decisions or not? Now, again, y'all can decide, y'all could agree on those things. It's not a big deal. But I'm saying you have to start figuring out, when are you going to say, no, you make the decision. And when you relinquish that, meaning you are the one that is making the decision, you have to shut your mouth on the decision that he makes. You can't just hop in there and try to be in control of everything. You just can't do that. But I'm telling you, it's in a very high 60%. It might even be 70. I've never ran statistics on it, but I'm telling you right now, anytime you hear a dude always saying, nah, go ahead, you choose. You choose. It's because the guy is married to a child most of the time. And so he's man enough to go ahead and let her do it. But because of that, he really don't have a lot of say-so in anything. And it's because the woman has been bewitched by her family or someone to believe this is how you run a house. Meaning the woman was taught, you run your house. No. You run the inside of the house regarding how it's decorated, what it looks like, painted, stuff like that. But you don't run the man. That's not what run the house means. Run the house as a woman don't mean you run the man. The man is the head and the woman is under the man, according to God. But that's based on godly things. That's based on godly things, not the man is stronger than a woman. I can beat you up. Look how strong I am. And the man just swings his weight around in the house. No, they both have a role. Okay. And honestly, I'm retired. And so I retired at a young age, but my wife works full time. So I'm not going to allow me and my wife to even get in a small disagreement or argument about the house being dirty. That ain't going to happen. So, and I'm not going to tell her, Nanny, let me meet you real quick. You got some weird feedback, but I'm not going to tell her when she comes home from a full day of work, you're going to do all these chores. That's stupid. That makes no sense. She's not going to be doing all these chores. Of course, people would say, hey, well, why wouldn't you do them? Well, it's a logical question. If I did nothing else, then I would do them. It's that simple. Okay. But I'm not a type of person just sit inside the house all day. You know, being on D scale, to me, I'm not sitting in the house. I'm using the equipment that you need to do this. To me, I'm not just sitting in the house. I mean, I could put the equipment outside, but if it starts raining, I got to bring it back in. I don't see the point of that. But I'm saying if I didn't do all the other things that I did, then yeah, I would 100% ask that person, hey, like, why aren't you doing the things in the house? Okay. But we have someone that comes over and takes care of the house. There is more than one way to solve a problem. And you don't do it by trying to figure out how to stress the other person. You don't got to stress out the other person. So when I say the woman is, she runs the house. Well, if you got a woman that works a lot, you need to get someone either to clean the house, got to be clean. And you don't allow someone to make you believe, well, the woman's got to, I know people like this. Well, I'm the woman, I got to clean. That's irrational. What do you mean? You're the woman, you have to, so you should be the one cleaning? Yes, it's my house. I should be. That's irrational. That doesn't make any sense. If you have a full-time job, you're married, you got kids, there's only so many hours in a day. So what's going to end up happening is the house is never going to get cleaned. It'll just be a complete mess. So now we have a problem, which means the word should is kicking your butt. So I should be the one to clean, but you don't. Well, I don't because I'm tired because I work a lot and I got kids and I'm married. So the house don't need to get clean then. Well, yeah, it does, but I should be the one doing it. As the trash is piling up, I should be the one cleaning it. Right. Okay, fine. But you don't clean it. Right. Well, you got to understand, I got a job and I got kids and I'm married. So when are you going to see the problem here? The house isn't getting cleaned. So hire someone to do it. No. I should be doing it. You see this cycle of death that people put themselves in by using should? That's a lie. You know what should happen? Your house should be clean. Which means get it done. Well, I can't because I work. Then get someone to do it. Well, I can't do that because I'm the woman and I should be. Oh my God, bro. What? Not rationally making any sense here. So the house should be clean, but does that mean that you should be doing it? If that's the case, women, okay, change your own oil, cut your own hair, give yourself your own pedicure. No, because you should be doing everything. It makes no sense. You cannot do everything. I don't understand this. If you have to hire someone to go clean your freaking house, you're the one that got it done. It doesn't matter if you paid someone to do it. It got done, didn't it? You needed a haircut? You paid someone to cut your hair. You needed your lawn cut? You pay someone to get your lawn cut. If you can't do it, you are responsible, though, to make sure it's done. Nobody cares how you got it done unless you hang out with people that are very judgmental, and that's weird. That just would be weird. Now you need to tell them to mind their own business, right? If it's your mom or dad, say, oh, y'all got slaves running your house over there. You can think whatever you want, but that lady or that group of people, they own a business and they clean houses very well. I'm telling you, there's some people that'll clean your house better than you ever thought you could. And you're like, oh my God, I should have hired them a long time ago. They'll clean the heck out of that sucker. You know, so you can't.
So true. This is so true.
you can't do everything, man. Listen, I haven't changed my oil in years. I used to change my oil all the time, but then again, it was cheaper, right? You can go get your oil changed for $19.99, or I can go buy everything for $11. I saved $8, and then I can do it just as fast as they did. Not even kidding. And if you timed it and you go, oh, you took a minute longer. Oh, my bad. I took a minute longer. I saved $8. Okay. But now you try to change your oil and you're pretty much paying the same thing. I think last time I checked was probably 2 or 3 months ago, I think. And I think I saved $1. If I bought everything and did it myself, it's like I save $1 or $2. I might as well pay someone to do it. $2? Get the heck out of here. And they're going to do it quicker than me, because when I used to do mine, my truck was a lot higher. My Jeep was a lot higher. My truck's not that high. I've done it in this truck. I can do it. But while someone else is doing it, I'm on the net taking care of other things. We got a $67 oil change special in Southtown. Hey, don't be coming up here and advertise. Let me knock this. Let me get this comment out. Who think you are coming up here advertising? Let's see. If anybody is near Southtown, Dakota, you can get your oil change for $67. Right now, it's like $120, I think. Something like that, $130 to do mine. But I went to go buy everything myself and saved a couple of dollars. I'm like, man, screw that. I don't cut my own hair. They cut my hair. Why am I bringing all this up? I'm bringing all this up because we're talking about how Nanny is pointing out that she feels like her man doesn't step up and do all these things. And I'm just saying that a lot of times it's in a high percentage of the 60s for sure, that when you hear guys just saying, no, you go ahead and do it, you go ahead and do it. The woman's a little manipulative. I see it all the time. Instead of them making a decision together, or the woman saying, hey, honey, it's okay. You can decide. Now, listen, if it's about where you're going to go eat, I don't care. I really don't care. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about where we're going to go eat. And the guy's like, well, I don't care. Man, I hate to say it. When it comes to the eating thing, though, half the time the guy does care. He just says he don't care because he want to argue about it. But that ain't got nothing to do with the woman manipulating. Okay, so
you're right, Trot. I know that because I'd be like, I'd argue with him, and then he'd just say, just do whatever you want. And so I got to really work hard on it. I have been lately. I've been like talking to him about stuff, and then he'll say whatever, and I'll say, no, what is your opinion? What do you want to do? And stuff. But I never thought about it as far as being manipulative. And I see what you're saying, and I believe you. And so it's something I've got to work on myself. Yeah. And I say this all the time to women. Women have been taught, I call it the Cleopatra effect. They've been taught by, I don't know, their mom, their grandma or whatever, but they've been taught to somehow like bewitch men, and I can understand that works in Satan's world, but in God's world, those tactics don't work. The relationship will not work if you're using witchcraft, you know what I mean? And that's what it is, manipulating and being crafty. Like, I'll tell you something that some women did the other day. All right. There was an older woman, and she had a tree that was kind of, I guess, falling apart over some limbs. And she told a younger woman, hey, take this saw out there and act like you're sawing. So the man can go over there and be like, oh, do you need help? Guys, that's manipulate. That's witchcraft. I don't care what you say. It's witchcraft. You do not tell someone, hey, go out there and do that. Like, again, this is working on people's emotions. That's witchcraft. If you don't know what I'm explaining is witchcraft, then my friend, you have been partaking in witchcraft and you need to stop. What you do is you go up to those men and say, hey, look, could you please cut this or move this? That's what you do. You don't use witchcraft. Now you're teaching someone else, hey, this is how you take care of a problem.
So if you go, well, that's just, women's been doing it for a long time. Yeah, it started with Eve. You're right. It started with Eve. It's not God's way. It's crafty. You understand? And you think oh yeah, I got him to do it. Yeah, you did by using witchcraft. It's witchcraft. Okay. You just ask. Well, if I ask, they'll say no. Now let's think about that for a second. If I'm honest with my approach, they'll say no. So then you lie and you go, I didn't lie. They cut it themselves. You know what you did, though. You know what you did, right? See, a godly man ain't going to fall for that. They're going to see the witchcraft and call it out like I did. This was a very short period of time. This happened a few days ago. I went right up to that older woman and I said, hey, did you give that to her and tell her to walk up there and cut? Well, and you just see her slithering back. You can see the Satan behavior being afraid. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, well, yeah, what's wrong with that? It needs to be cut. I said, how long you been living here? Years. How long has that branch been there? I said, don't lie to me. I can see all the grass around it. How long has that branch been on the ground? Well, I said, I could tell it's been on the ground for weeks, if not a couple of months. Well, yeah, maybe. How come you didn't tell that young lady to go cut it? Why didn't you tell that young lady to go cut it a month ago? Why did you wait till there were men out here? And I said, that's witchcraft. Did you know that? Well, I don't really believe it is. It is. I'm sitting there telling you, it's witchcraft, what you just did. And you're teaching it to this person right here. You're teaching witchcraft. And you call yourself a Christian, huh? You're a Christian? That's Christian-like? Why didn't you just go up to them dudes and say, hey, can y'all do that? Why didn't you do that? You don't know how to do that? You don't know how to ask people to help you? So you've been manipulating people your whole life. Let me tell you something, women. That will lead you to be alone in an old folks' home. Huh? If you want to know what it's like to be alone in an old folks' home, you need to go to one. Go to an old folks' home. Go to the people that work there and say, hey, show me a woman that nobody comes to visit. And go over there and talk to her. And see yourself in the mirror. You will be right there. If your whole life is about making sure things get done by using people's emotions, my friend, you've been a witch for a long time. And you probably didn't even know it. That is witchcraft. Anytime I talk to anybody, anytime that I talk to anybody about marriage, I bring this topic up because it has slithered its way into Christianity and people think it's normal. It's not normal. It's not. It's you've been a witch. Everybody thinks that a witch is taking a big old pot, and pouring stuff in it. And you're like, I'm not a witch. I don't do that. Well, you don't know what witchcraft is then. That's why you do it. You don't know what being a witch is. A witch is manipulating things to happen around them and not really asking. It just happened. No, my friend. That's the craftiness of Satan. That's what he used. Do you understand? To get Eve to eat. That's what he used. He used witchcraft to manipulate. God doesn't manipulate. God doesn't convince people to do things. He doesn't convince, he tells the truth. God tells the truth, right? There's no craftiness. God tells the truth, and you decide whether you're going to do what's true or not. You decide. Okay? Together, and that's what qualifies him. It should be more than just that. Oh, maybe you're saying something up here. Angela, I don't know. Y'all probably having a conversation up here. Oh, my God.
Thank you, Trot. I have to go, but you've pointed out something that I've pretty much realized, but would want to admit. So, and he is a good man. We've been married 41 years, and it's been because of him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And, the more you recognize that, the more you'll start like allowing him to make choices. And, that can be turned around. But if you've been doing something for a very long time, he may be afraid to even come again. Again, you can train your man to be afraid to come against what you're saying because he just don't want a problem. And that man becomes passive. And it's not good. I've seen a lot of guys become passive like this and they die when they're 50 because they have no role. I'm telling you, this is why people get sick and die at a young age, is because there's no role. They have no role. And we can sit here and keep playing around with this and say it's not serious. I'm sitting here telling you, there are men today that have lost their role in their relationship because they say they just want peace. If a man is just fighting for peace, there is no growth. That's a sad.
That I learned. There is one thing that I've learned, because he is slightly disabled, and there's one thing that I learned every day when I asked him how his day was and did he have any wins, if he was able to do anything at night, and I tell him how grateful I am for everything that he does every single day, and I tell him that what a wonderful husband he is every day, and I try to encourage him every day.
Yeah, well, that's not how you encourage a man. You don't encourage him the way you're saying. You encourage the man when you allow him to be the role of a man.
Okay.
Right. So this whole, let me encourage you, that's not encouraging. Right. Remember, Nanny, we were talking about how you said your mom, she writes you and you're like, I can't think of nothing good she's ever done. I'm like, she ain't ever made you a meal?
Oh, did I tell you?
No, I guess not.
I did it.
Okay. Well, you don't just do it once. You got to continue to do it.
No, I know. I'm going to do it again, but I did it. And all she said was, wowzee and thank you.
Yeah.
That's all she said.
Yeah,
I'm going to do it again.
Yeah, but you don't do it for her response. Okay. You're doing it for her mindset.
It blew her mind.
Oh,
so
I mean, I'm sure it did, but the goal is not to blow her mind. It's just it's so she can start talking positive to herself. You got to give her truth. So it is true that there were meals, and to not say thank you, that's baloney. That's not true, right? And again, same thing with someone's husband. You don't encourage someone by walking up and be like, "Oh, I just want to know I appreciate you." That's not how you appreciate somebody. You appreciate them by allowing them to be the role. That's how you appreciate them, not by saying, "I appreciate you." That's all feelings. That's all fake. That's not how you do it. Okay. You don't appreciate someone by saying, I appreciate you. You don't love someone by saying, I love you. Okay. Actions is what's doing these things, not just words. You got the book, the love language, words of affirmation, right? You got words of affirmation, right? Gifts and all these things. Listen, there's nothing wrong with telling someone, I appreciate you, but it has to be backed with the action of you actually appreciating them. You don't have a husband and you run the house. You make all the decisions. He plays no role in nothing. And then at the end of the day, I want you to know I appreciate you. What you're doing is you're telling him, I like it when you let me have things my way. Thank you. Thank you for making me feel better today, because I was going to be mad if you didn't let me do it this way and you let me do it that way. Oh, I appreciate you so much. No, y'all are both feeding the wrong thing. You're telling him, let me do what I want to do. And he's like, yes, massa, I don't want no problems. So when you tell him, I appreciate that, all you're doing is, thank you for letting me be a witch. Thank you for appreciating my witchcraft. That's all you're doing. So again, back in the back of your head, right? When I say you, I mean figuratively everybody. If that's what you're doing. If you're saying, I don't do that, I don't have to hear that. You don't got to tell me that. Again, I'm talking to everybody. You don't have to receive what I'm saying, but I am telling you, based on the word, we don't use feelings to move these kind of things. It's actions, not feelings. It's actions. So anyone that does this, and again, I talk about this all the time to people that are married. All the time, every time. So if anyone has ever came up to me and is like, hey, so in my marriage, I'm going to bring up freaking witchcraft, period, the end. I'm going to bring it up. Why? Because it's in there 90% of the time. That's why. It's nothing personal, has nothing to do with an individual. No, I understand what the Bible says. I know the man's role. I know the woman's role, and I know how each manipulates situations. And women become witches very quickly. If they don't have a man that knows how to lead, the woman's going to become a witch because she's going to have to take over. Or if the woman is very manipulative, which means she's already been a witch before they got married, then she's not going to let the man lead. So it can come from either direction. But the household that is truly happy, and I'm not talking about happy in this physical world, I'm saying spiritually happy, is when the man he treats his wife based on how Christ treats him, with grace, love, and mercy, right? And the Bible says, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church, right? So that means that because the man thinks logical and the woman doesn't, it means that the woman is going to say and do things that can easily disrupt a way a mind of a man works. And so he could, be a little abrasive or a little hard towards her, but he won't if he understands that in God's eyes, God still loves the man. Through all his faults, God still covers you. He still loves you. So when you understand that and you see a woman acting like she's freaking out of her freaking mind, then you're like, I'm worse. But if you don't put yourself under Christ, then you don't see yourself as worse. And you tell the woman, why are you so stupid? Why are you so crazy? Why? That's not how Jesus talks to you. Does Jesus sit you down and lecture you for 4 hours and tell you how stupid you are? Now, listen, we can talk about how stupid you are. Jesus don't do that to you. When a man puts himself under Christ, he will treat her the way he sees Christ treating him, which means 100% of the time, he's going to show grace to the woman. Because as soon as you're tempted to be like, now you listen here, as soon as you're tempted, you'd be like, that wouldn't be right. And how do you know? How do you know that wouldn't be right for you to act that way? Because Jesus never acts like that to you. So if he doesn't act like that to you, then now you give what was given to you freely, which is grace, right? Love, grace, and mercy. Then you give that to her and she will adore you. Every time she'll adore you, because all the times that you could have gave her the business, listen, we all do the little things. I'm talking about straight to the point on how we're supposed to be passing down love from one to another. It's from God to the man and from man to the woman, right? So,
thank you, Trot.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, and I will be putting into action.
Well,
I really appreciate you a lot. I do.
Yeah.
You've really helped me a lot to grow and stuff. I've already told you that before, but
yeah.
I will do my best to show what I need to show to him. And I've been trying, but I'm not. But you've changed my direction, so I'm going to and stuff. And I am planning on writing again to my mother, so I just have to find some more stuff.
Yeah. Oh, you'll find it. You'll find it. If you just think hard enough, it'll pop up. You just let the love of God show you. It'll show you.
Okay. Thanks,
Yeah,
Trot.
absolutely.
Y'all have a blessed day.
You too. Does anybody got anything else? Because it is 12 o'clock. We got to go.
I want you to know that you helped me see some godly qualities in my son when you were talking. He's very responsible with his own money. So he's on his way.
He's on his way. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Anybody else? Anybody got anything?
I do. I have a question.
All
right. So my question is this. So you know what I do for a living. So I deal with finances and money all the time.
Yeah.
My husband is not responsible with money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So a good leader knows how to delegate.
Yeah.
And so if you're not strong in one area and your partner is, how do I approach that correctly without offending?
Yeah. All right. The same way, right? The same way I was explaining how you have a woman that has the thinking there, I'm the woman, I should clean. Watch, I'm going to show you. I should clean. And you're like, okay, all right. 2 weeks later, house not clean. And you're like, hey, you said you should clean. What did you mean? Oh, I'm saying that I'll clean it. Oh, okay. And they don't clean it. It's like, say, hey, let's just hire someone. Now, again, this is not me and my wife. I'm telling you stuff that I have come across in churches, talking to people. You'll just come across a woman that she will tell you to your face, no, nobody's cleaning my house. I'm the woman. I'm going to clean it. but you're not cleaning it. No, I know, but I'm going to. But it's been 2 months and you haven't cleaned it. Like it's stuff is growing in your house. You probably have freaking, flowers growing somewhere, in your house. You have to get the house clean. So why don't you hire someone? No, my husband can do it. Well, hold on. No, your husband can't do it because you said that I'm the woman and I got to clean it. So now watch. The person is telling me two things. They're saying they're going to clean it, but my husband's going to do it. When your thinking errors start becoming an issue, Bubba, we're in a bad place. Now you have issues. You don't have thinking errors anymore. You have issues now because you're not able to determine, again, this person, she's not able to determine whether she's actually going to clean the house or not. And so her answer is, oh, my husband will do it. No, your husband can't do it based on your own logic. You have to do it. You're the woman. So your question regarding finances, do you remember, misunderstood, what was the solution to this woman and that man? What was the solution? Because I gave the solution.
I'm sorry, Trot.
You don't remember?
Right now I'm on, so
okay.
I didn't get all
right,
of
that's
it.
all right. That's all right. The solution was, get the person to believe it's okay. Someone else can come clean your house because she don't have time to do it. The man doesn't have time to do it either. So we had to come into an agreement. It's okay. This idea, I'm the woman, I should. So I had to show that this word should you're using, that's not how you use the word should. How we use the word should is your house should be clean, not he should do it or I should do it. That's not how you use should. Okay. So when I got the person to admit that what they're saying is irrational, after a short period of time, they were able to go hire someone. She no longer had a problem with someone cleaning the house because overall she was paying the person to clean. Therefore, you're the one cleaning it, regardless if you're physically cleaning it or not. Your responsibility is to get the house clean. So in this predicament where you're better with numbers, then that means that your husband is the free-spirited one. All right? Means money goes fast.
Absolutely.
All right. So
money go quick.
All right. So if the husband is the free-spirited one and you're the nerd, you have to somehow get him to see this truth that you're the nerd. So if you're the nerd plays with the numbers. So if you don't think you can come across to him, then now we have to do what we did in the other one, get someone else involved, which means you need to take a Dave Ramsey course so he can learn that out of you two, one of you is better with numbers, and we have to start being honest about it. We cannot stay in this cycle of I'm the man, I do the numbers. Well, you're not any good at numbers. So why are you doing the numbers? Well, because I'm the man.
Okay, so what you have stated, I have tried. I have said, you should take a class.
No, not him. Y'all.
Financial literacy.
Y'all. No, y'all.
Well,
you got to take it with them.
Okay. Yes, I will.
Listen.
Right.
Listen. Hold on.
If I try to look, if because I've gone to him to appointments for cars and things of that nature, right? Mm-hmm. And he will. The lady will be telling him about what this means, of the refinancing and all of that. And then he'll look at me and I'm just like, I'm waiting for you to respond because I don't want to step on your toes. Yeah. I want you to make this decision. And I know the numbers are wrong. I'm listening. I'm like, oh my God, this is a bad deal. Yeah. This is all of this, but I'm not saying anything. But he was just like, and then he admitted, he hit my knee and said, I'll let her handle this part. And then I go in there and, seal the deal. And then the representative will say, make sure you always bring her with you because she knows what she's talking about.
Yeah. But see, a man, listen, but
area of expertise.
Well, hold on. No, I'm not questioning whether he knows. What I'm saying is okay. So this type of situation, a man or a woman, I'm talking about the woman that says, I'm the woman, I should clean the house. He says, I'm the man, I should make all the decisions. They will, without trying, they will compartmentalize. That situation is different than him being in charge of everything. You can't allow him to compartmentalize it. You are either the nerd and you're better with numbers all the time, or you're not. He cannot believe that sometimes you have to step up. No. You are either the nerd or he is. It has to be black and white. Who is better with numbers? So if he can say, well, she is, then that means when it comes to numbers, she's the one in charge. Now, if he wants to go get a degree in math,
then that's where ego gets into it.
Okay, all right.
I'm sorry,
no, I know ego. I know you're not cutting me off. You're fine. I know ego gets in the way. What I'm trying to tell you is you're the one that has to figure out that he has to be honest about this, him. So you can't force someone to be honest about this. If you have someone that can be honest, great. If you have someone that can't be honest, that's not a good place. And there's nothing you can do about it. So, all you could do is try to figure out what other method can I do. That's what I'm telling you. You have to take a day, for instance, a Dave Ramsey course where Dave Ramsey goes in there. Again, it's stuff that a lot of people already know, but Dave Ramsey just happens to be the guy that is able to express it in a way where it really doesn't offend people. But again, when Dave Ramsey first started, he was kind of brash like I am. I'll tell someone, bro, you're dumb. I'm looking at your math. You're stupid. And he used to talk to people like that. And the only reason why he stopped is not because he's wrong. It's because, he just figured, you know what? Fine. Guys, look, you're not dumb. Okay. Hey, you're not dumb. It's okay. No, listen, if someone is stupid at math, you should be able to tell them, look, you're freaking stupid, okay, when it comes to math. It's like, well, it's not really politically correct. Fine. You're the nerd and you're the free-spirited person, right? We'll just use those words. You're the nerd and you're the free-spirited. Instead of you're a waste of time, a waste of money. Stop breathing the same air that I'm breathing. And the other person, you're a nerd. You're a geek from who knows where, another galaxy, freaking Mars, the way you are with your numbers. But you got to be a little more politically correct. So we just say, okay, you're not a waste. You're free-spirited. You're free. Yay, money's free. We can spend as much money as we want to, right? So there is going to be. Go ahead.
Huh? When he wants certain things, he was just like, well, how we have the money. And in my head, I'm just like, wait a minute, I have to do this, and this. Yeah. That's all before we have the money. Yeah. But yes, so I will. I'm all about financial literacy. Okay, yeah. So I have no problem in taking a class. So to help him, because I even have my children helping them with their budget. So yeah. So yes, I will try to formulate it to whereas
all you got to do, all you got to do is you go to a church that's pretty big. It's got to have at least 1,000 members. Okay, 2,000, 3,000. Go up there and just tell them, do y'all do Dave Ramsey classes here? You will find one. When they tell you, oh yeah, we have it. When is your next one? And you're just going to have to, you're going to have to ask them, please, can you please go here with, I think it will help. But the one thing I'll tell you to do is when you're in there and Dave Ramsey, or it could be a teacher there, maybe let's say Dave Ramsey, let's say they got a teacher there that is part of Dave Ramsey's courses or whatever. And, they're pretty much part of the team. So sometimes it won't be Dave Ramsey, it'd be somebody else. But when they're showing you like who's who thinks more like this or whatever, like when y'all are going through that, try your hardest not to laugh. Try your hardest not to, I told you so. Try your hardest. Just
next to him, then I'll have to.
You're gonna have to. No, you're gonna have to, because look, there's a thing in there where. Oh God. Okay. There's a thing in there, and what's gonna happen is it's gonna kind of be like a team building thing where the guy or woman who's teaching the class, they're gonna call y'all out, and they're gonna be like, hey, who's more like this or who's more, and you're gonna be like, oh crap. And if he starts playing the game, well, she's kind of more like that. And if he's like, oh, well, okay, well, that's kind of me, well, then you could probably play back, and be like, that's him and that's me. But if you know that your husband's got an ego, they're pretty good at kind of throwing your ego to the side because they're trying to show that everybody is in here for a reason. It doesn't mean that there's somebody in there that don't know finances. No, it means that there's probably someone that's part of the relationship that is actually understands finances, but their significant other don't. And so you don't say, I'm here for you. No. I'm here for us. You just gotta, don't bring up what you know, nothing. You'll see. I used to, I've told many people to take them courses because it kind of helps show the man that it's actually okay to admit the truth. It's okay. It just can't come from you. You need to let someone else explain it. And if he starts telling you, you know what, I think from now on, you need to be in control of the finances. Whoever's the nerd is the nerd.
I'm so happy. I don't even want to have this conversation. I would, and I do understand about the whole witchcraft thing. And yes, it took me a minute, but I got full understanding.
Yeah.
But this is one. If he would just, and I say this respectfully, babe, you just do it. The finances, okay? It would not. I don't care about nothing else. You can do everything else, but this money.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you just need someone else to show them. So just tell them that there's a class up here, and you want to go, and tell them to go with you. And the good thing is, more than likely, y'all are not going to know anybody in there. That's why I'm telling you to go to a church that you do not attend. Go to a church and tell him the reason I want to go here is because we don't know anyone there. Okay, that's why. That's it. That's it. That's why you want to go. And why I'm telling you, when you're in there, that they're going to be like, all right, guys, check it out. It's like a little group team. And all they're doing is who does this, who's more like this. And after a while, he's going to see the other guys and the other, people raising their hand. And he ain't going to feel like he's alone there, alone in this predicament. And then after a while, it shouldn't take, but less than an hour, he going to feel comfortable in the class and he'll go again. And it's like I think it's 8 weeks or something like that. I can't remember. And there is a little book to buy or whatever. And I'm telling you, just buy the stupid book. I don't care if you know everything in it. I don't care. Buy the book. Tell him to play, do the book with you and all that. And you got to go home sometime and do homework and watch some videos or whatever. But you need to go to a church and go in person. Do not do it online. Now, if he says that's the only way he's going to do it, better than nothing. But I'm telling you, I've heard by many people it is a better experience in person. So,
yes, it's better in person because you can feed off of other people.
Oh, yeah.
Because you may have a thought process and someone else is in that same alignment, and then the teacher can be like, oh, well, that thought process is not quite right, and this is the reason why.
Yeah.
So absolutely.
Yeah. 100%. All right. Anybody else got anything before we go? Anybody? Nope. That's it. All right. Okay. Then we're done. What time is it? 12:20? That's not too bad. All right. Tomorrow. I don't think we got anything specific tomorrow. We'll figure it out. Nope.
You should just call this one Finances and Witches.
Do what?
Call this one Finances and Witches.
Oh, Finances and Witches. You'd be surprised, man. People don't know what a witch is, man. And for the most part, women it's easier for them, to become a witch. A guy, the warlock thing, it's usually a guy that's intimidated by certain kind of guys, and they do the same thing. They just go to this, well, I'm smart, I can win battles with words. And it's like, bro, you become a warlock and you don't even know it. Your whole life is just about manipulating, and it's just you're a warlock. You're a male witch, and you don't even know that's what you're doing. And they think, well, I just outsmart you. No, you're manipulating life, not outsmarting nobody. All right, guys, that's it. We will see y'all tomorrow. Oh, what?
I have one last question.
Okay, what?
Yeah. So, because I did hear part about the witch part. Okay, so before I met my now husband, I had men just doing things for me, and all I did was ask. So I did hear you, if I heard you correctly, touching on a woman shouldn't be, sneaky, or the whole Saul thing you referenced in regards to the tree.
Yeah.
So if you ask someone to help you, that's not doing witchcraft because you're technically asking because you need the assistance.
Yeah, because your approach is honest. You're like, hey, can you listen? This thing's been here for a month, right? And what's wrong with saying, you know what? I will admit I'm being a little lazy, but can you do it for me? Now, listen, the tree wasn't that big around. I will admit for that lady and that younger woman, okay, fine. It might have taken you an hour out of your day. Okay. Which that's just being lazy. If it's something you really can do, then you're not asking for help. You understand what I'm saying? But if you're going to be lazy, let's not be lazy and witchy about it. Okay. Just tell the guy, look, I'm just being lazy. I probably could do it, but I'm hoping that you can just do it for me. The guy might just say, yeah, I'll cut it up real quick and move it over there. Or he might say, ma'am, I don't see you needing me to do it. I think you can do it. And that might be the reason that a woman was like, well, they're going to be able to tell that I could do it. And I don't want to look like, and I mean, man, we're talking a lot of gymnastics when you can just take your lazy butt out there and do it yourself. So we're talking about this big headache that you actually give yourself when you know darn well you could take an hour out of your day and go chop up that sucker wood. And I'm telling you, she probably could have done it in an hour. It wouldn't surprise me if she could have done it in 30 minutes. What I'm saying is, if you're going to be lazy, it's kind of like, you ever seen the bum on the side of the road? He's holding the sign and it says, why lie? I want a beer. You ever seen that?
Yes, and I always give them money.
I'm just saying, look, again, I hardly give a lot of money to guys on the side of the road, but when I do see them, it just depends on what's going on that day. But there was a few times where I'll tell you the first time I saw that, it was in Oak Cliff in Dallas. It's like by the state fair. Well, anyway, I saw that sign for the first time years ago, and I had to stop to make sure I read that right. And it said, why lie? I want a beer. Listen, I'm not telling you to give money to people just because they want to drink, but I'm not going to lie. The dude sold me. I said, hey, bro, how old are you? He might have been 35. And I said, I couldn't help him. I was like, what kind of beer do you drink? And he named it. I said, how much is it? He's like, shoot, $4. He told me just like that. You give me $4, I could give me one right now. And I was looking at him and he wasn't drunk. I was like, how big is it? And he told me, I said, do you get drunk? He goes, nah, I need 3 of them to get drunk. I'm like, bro, you got my $4, bro. Here, I gave him a $5 bill. I'm like, man, you won me with that one. I guess I said, I hope you don't, I said, you don't got a vehicle? Nah, I don't got, I was like, bro, please don't get drunk, get hit by somebody. And nah, bro, I do this all the time. I was like, you got $5 for me today, bro. I'm laughing all the way to the house. So I'm not going to give him $5 every time I drive down there. But if that dude would have said, I need a job. Hey, I chop firewood. You going to help me chop? Oh, no, man. No, I don't want to do that. All right. Well, you ain't getting my money. I was going to pay you to work. You don't want to work. I mean, it just depends, right? It just depends. Everybody's perspective is different. Everybody's how they see things is just different. And if somebody wants to give their hard working money to one of them, that's on them. That's what they want to do, right? But you don't make someone give their hard earning money to anybody, and you definitely don't make fun of someone doing it. That's none of your business. It's their money. They do what they want with it. But, yeah, but what were you saying? The witch thing, though?
No, it was just because, and I say this respectfully.
Yeah.
I've never been told no until my now husband told me no for the first time. It hurt me before I realized about harnessing emotions. I was like, why are you telling me no? I've never been told no. But in that same respect, I never deceived anyone. I always told them, can you do my brakes for me? I don't want to go to the dealership. Can you do my oil change for me? And this and this and this. Yeah. And I would always ask. So that's why I just wanted clarification that I wasn't bewitching back then, but I was just being honest. So you clarified that for me, that as long as I was honest and upfront of what I wanted done, and if they were willing to do it, they did it.
They did it. Okay. But again, that's what I'm saying. Everybody knows their intentions, what they're doing. And just like I was talking about, the lady,
she could have easily did that herself, but she went and asked someone to do it for her. And again, being honest about that, hey, I can't do it or I don't want to do it. Can you do it for me? There ain't nothing wrong with that. But if you have a bad habit of doing that, you can enable that. And now it's a different problem. You're not bewitching anyone to do it, right? You're not trying to let me see if I can make them think it's their idea and they'll do it. That's witchcraft. Okay. But if you're lazy and there's something you can do and you just keep getting people to do it, that's just another issue. Right. But again, that's, it's just another issue. It's just being lazy instead, witchcraft. It's not that witchcraft and being lazy, like witchcraft is worse and being lazy is not as bad. They're both bad. They're both on the same pedestal, right? So you don't want to feed either one of them, right? If there's something you can do yourself, you need to do it yourself, right? If you can't do it, right, and you're being genuine that you just can't do it. For instance, my oil, I can change my oil, okay? But now we're getting to, if I can do it, I still have to pay for the materials. So the materials are going to be $115. But if I go get it done, I pay $3 to $5 more. So now I'm still going to use the same amount of time, whether they do it or I do it, same amount of time. I will save $3. Well, if it's going to take them 15 to 30 minutes to get it done, and I'm talking about from the time the car gets there, they get it done, I can be hitting two birds with one stone. You understand? I can hit two birds with one stone. While the truck is getting the oil change, I could be doing something on descaled. I can be doing something else. So now I'm not doing it because I'm lazy. I'm doing it because I'm conserving my time. Two things are going to get done at the same time. So that would be the reason that I would do it. Now, the haircut, I could probably cut my own hair, but I can't cut it as good as that lady can, right? I can't be on my phone really when she's cutting it. I mean, I kind of can, but it doesn't take her long to do it. I'm just saying, it just depends. In that lady's situation, she could have cut. I'm sitting there telling you, she would have it done in 30 minutes, but she didn't want to do it. So it just depends what monster you're feeding. Go ahead.
So what you're saying is that while you're getting your oil changed for 30 minutes or so, gives you an opportunity to jump on your phone and text me and tell me what to do.
Yeah, pretty much. I can delegate. He's stupid, bro. This dude right here.
I know when Tra has time because I get back to back messages. So I'm like, oh, he has time right now. I need to hide.
He has time right now.
I'm joking. I don't hide.
No, it's cool.
But I know when he has time, though. I can tell by the messages.
They start coming in. Like 15 minutes of just straight messages. Jennifer, you got your hand up? You got a question?
Well, my question was like, if the man does believe in God, but he's not actually picking up the authority and he's kind of in a relationship with a woman that is more hands-on in situations and actually doing the job that he's supposed to be doing, how, as a godly woman, do we make that man do what he's supposed to be doing without hurting his, Like, a man does have a pride. And it's not always a bad thing. As a woman can basically harm their partner.
So what's the question? What's the question? There's like 3 questions now.
So how does a godly woman make her husband do what he's supposed to be doing?
You can't.
Well, I think before Trot jumps in there and answers that, I think that should probably be something we continue on tomorrow with a Grit family, because today we talked about the man, and tomorrow we're gonna bury you guys. We're gonna talk about the women tomorrow.
Well, I kind of did already, but all right. So what's the question? What's the question? Give me the question, Jennifer, so I can just write it down.
How does a godly woman I hate using the word make because we can't make anybody do anything, but how do we influence them to do what they should be
We'll
doing?
just say get. We'll just say get. How does a godly woman get her man?
Look, y'all using witchcraft language. How do I make him? How do I bamboozle
that's how you
him?
know, bro.
How do I manipulate him?
Hey, I know how to listen. I know how to manipulate him to do everything else, but how do I get him to do this? So all right. So how does a godly woman? Oh Lord, have mercy. Why did I move that over there? That was an accident. Oh my Lord, what is happening? Okay.
It's all about our actions. What we want from them, we need to be showing them. So that is what Trot and Dre is going to be talking about tomorrow. It's about what they see us do as wives.
But the question is, how does a godly Jennifer, give me a yes or no. How does a godly man get her man to be a godly man? Huh? Is that the question?
Well, they're godly, but they're not. They're not
what?
Like when a woman is more in tune, like with with James, right? He said that he does believe in the God, but his wife is more in tune. Like spiritually, we're more matured.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Then they're not godly men. What are you talking about? You're literally telling me this man's godly, but he's not leading as the man. Then he's not a godly man. That's what we talked about for the past 3 hours.
Okay.
Okay. So just because someone says, I believe in God, doesn't mean they're godly. They're just not a complete fool. Right? Because a fool says there is no God. So if that man that you're referring to, whether it's for you, your friend, whatever, if that man goes, there is no God, he's not a not godly man. He's a fool. So the man is either a godly man or he's a fool. It's one or the other. He's like, well, he believes in God. Okay, then he's not a fool. Is he a godly man? Well, he's not a fool. So then he's a godly man. But if he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing, then that means there's no growth. So there's an issue. There's an issue there. Again, a
godly man has to be in covenant.
Yeah,
That's the foundational piece.
Yeah,
if you're not in covenant, you can't be a godly.
Yeah, I'm not questioning if he's saved or not. Right. So if the man's saved, we can play with words and say, oh, well, he's a godly man. He's saved. He's saved. Okay. Maybe he's a convert. Okay. But a godly man, he picks up his role. So if the person's not picking up their role, they're not acting like a godly man. You understand? So let's put it this way. There's two kinds of godly men. The godly man you're talking about, Jennifer, is he believes in God. I'm not talking about that. Today we talked about what does a godly man look like. So that's the godly man I'm talking about, that we're talking about. Not whether he's saved or believes in God, but whether he's picked up his role and he's actually putting himself in that role. So the question will be, how does a godly woman get her man to be a godly man? We'll talk about it tomorrow. Today was about manipulating and warlocks and witches, and you need to get that stuff out of your life. Like oh man, that stuff needs to go. And everybody has a smidgen of it. It's still in there, but every time you see it try to expose itself, you have to shut that down because it's going to lead to the same crap that it always leads to, right? If someone's asking you, if they're trying to get you to tell them what to do, you don't tell someone what to do, right? You're like, hey, I'm at this crossroads. Which way do I go? You don't tell them which way to go. You just tell them, well, what does this path go to? Well, that's going to go to a job, probably no kids for 5 more years, probably not even going to have time to have a boyfriend. Okay. Where does this job lead? Oh, that is me getting married within a year, having kids within a year, maybe a career 10 years down the road. Which one do you want to do? You don't just say, well, education's important and you need to get educated first and and that's the one you need to do. Not like that. You can just ask them. Like, I don't know if y'all remember when Meow was up here, the episode's called college or Catwoman or something like that. And it, I was like, do you want to be a Catwoman? You just want to have a bunch of cats and life is free. Yay. You don't have to, what's the point of being educated then? You don't have to be educated to feed cats and have a bunch of birds and cats. But if the person's like, well, no, I do want to have a certain amount of income and I do. Okay, well, the Catwoman thing don't lead to that. So you got to make a choice, but you don't tell them what to do. You can tell them this one seems better because of this. And then you just help them see the pros and cons. That's it. That's all you can do. You don't tell people, if someone goes, hey, I got these 3 jobs. And then you're like, oh, yeah, how much do they pay? Oh, well, this one pays, 50, this one pays 65, and this one pays 80. You don't go, oh, take the one that's 80, and they get fired in the week because they don't know how to do the job. You help them get fired. You don't tell them which one to do. You just go, oh, that 80 grand, well, that's more than 50. Take that job. No. No, you tell them which one do you want to do? Well, I know, but I want to know which one. No, I'll give you pros and cons of both and help you put it in front of you, but you decide what to do. Right. So, well, you should take the one that pays more. Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's scary. Let's back up. All right. So that'll be the question, and we'll go over that tomorrow. All right. Other than that, that's all I got, man. Is that it? Everybody, y'all good? Till tomorrow. We'll see y'all in the morning. Yeah, maybe so. YouTube worked great today. I'm glad, man. I don't know what happened the past couple of days because there ain't been no storm. I don't know what the deal is, honestly. All right, we'll see y'all in the morning. God bless. We out.